You guys, welcome. I'm so excited for today. It is day 5 and we are talking about dream boards. I know it's your thing. So I had done a full situation, I think it was like an hour and some, where we had champagne, we made a vision board. It's on this channel if you want to go check it out. Probably a lot of you guys watched it and it was so fun. And one of my favorite things is being able to map out a vision. I usually do it around this time of year in the fall, and I also reiterate one in January. So what I like to do for this, and I'm going to take you through just my own method of doing this, and if you have never made a dream board, it's about time you do. So you have your top 10 goals, but what's like the big vision of these top 10 goals, and maybe putting them into a visual form where you look at it every single day. And here's the difference. A lot of people will make a vision board where it is a piece of cardboard that eventually gets folded up, put away in a drawer in a closet somewhere, and you never see it again. The difference that I made years ago, years and years and years ago, I want to say over 8 years, I found a bunch of pictures that inspired me, weren't random. This is where I feel like Pinterest makes so much more sense than cutting out magazine cutouts, because magazine cutouts, you kind of just go with what's cute and you just grab it, and they're not really your goals. The beauty about Pinterest and Google is you can search it. So what I do is I write out these top 10 goals, and from there I need a visual form of it. So I will search it on Pinterest, make a hidden board. You can actually keep a board secret. It's personal, so you can do that. And then I will go into something like PicMonkey or Canva, totally free, and I will import all of these visuals. I also add some text and some keywords of each of those top 10 goals. And this way, headed into the end of the month, you have a visual representation that you can see of what you're working towards. Now, the reason why I believe in making it digital is it can be your desktop. You can also, and I've done this, I've cut the desktop photo in half and created the back and the front of a notebook, and I look at it every single day. The other thing you can do is make it the background on your phone. Looking at something every single day instead of putting it away in a drawer is how you actually make stuff happen. So those are my ins and outs of making a dream board. And when you finish your dream board today, your visual representation of those top 10 goals, which I hope you wrote out today, tag me. I want to see them. Let me know in the comments if it's done. I'm going to hold you to it, and I will see you tomorrow.
Hello, it's the Snark crew and a special guest. Karina has joined us today. I'm super excited. It's been, I don't know, buckle up, get a drink, get a snack, because the lady that we just watched, she's gonna seem a little bit different in the video that we were sent, that we were given access to. She is a top pyramid performer in Beachbody. She was, I think, numero uno of Beachbody, and it's gonna be wild. And we were sent a lot of her trainings. This is what she does behind the scenes when she doesn't think that people are actually looking, and we got sent it, and it's been incredible. So thank you to who sent this to Cheryl. Always keep you anonymous when you want to remain anonymous. We're very grateful and thankful. I'm DC. I'm an MLM dropout. I've never been in Beachbody. I just have lots of feelings about Carl Deichler, and they're not all good. Most of them are not good, especially what are you wearing at your convention, sir? Please, please, please do something different. And I just got out of my last MLM, Young Living Essential Oils. Shout out to you. I hope the FTC takes you down. I left April this year, April 2022, and I've been trying to figure out life ever since, and I found incredible people, Cheryl, Amy, Jen, Amber, and Karina, and lots of others, Tanya, the Discord crew. It's been great so far. So I'm going to let Cheryl pass the microphone on down and let everyone introduce themselves.
Hi, everyone. I am Cheryl Spears, host of the Call Cheryl Hun, You're in a Cult podcast. And I am here. I am a Beachbody dropout and multiple, actually, MLM dropouts, but we'll go into more details of that one day. And I'm here just to spread spread the truth about what Beachbody coaches and CEOs and super trainers really mean when they post their stuff on the internet. So a big thank you to the person who sent this to us, and I'll go ahead and pass it over to Amy.
Hey guys, so my name's Amy Ewer. I was a Diamond Beachbody coach and then realized that my husband realized I was spending a whole lot more each month than I was making and dropped out. It didn't stop me though. Like I immediately got into another one that you can hear about on Cheryl's podcast when it comes out. And now just really want to spread the truth. And I just have to say one thing, because I've seen the video that we're going to watch, and she actually flashed in that intro. She flashed her notebook and it said Mean Girls, didn't it? She has manifested that, you guys. She's mean. She's ornery. Woo! So, all right, Karina, we're going to go down to our honorary snarker.
What up?
Hi guys. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Karina, and I'm on a break right now, but I love these ladies, so I invited myself to this. Have been for the last couple streams. I make bilingual anti-MLM content, so in Spanish and in English, both on here and on Instagram sometimes, and I am very spicy. Today, I told the girls I'm trying to not curse because I know a lot of mommies watch these videos with their kids in the background, but get ready for the spice anyways. We're going to switch out some words, but it's still going to be very spicy. And I've never been in an MLM, but I have a bone to pick with toxic diet culture. And also, I think that's it. I'm your friendly neighborhood plant lady. That's it. That's who I am.
Love it.
Okay, I'm next. Hi guys, it's me, Amber Nye, and we have another honorary snarker here. This is my new nephew, Fitz. I'm babysitting him this weekend. But like Amy, I was also a Diamond Beachbody coach. I was a coach for 5 years, and I'd never been in another MLM because when I was all in for Beachbody, I was all in for Beachbody, and I did not MLM hop, even though I was encouraged to, and other people from other companies tried to poach me to join their companies, but I didn't. So, but yeah, now I also have a gripe with toxic diet culture. We were talking earlier about being a girl mom. I've got girls fighting here, quietly fighting and punching each other because they know mom is talking. But yes, I also have a gripe with toxic diet culture, and now I like to tell my story so other people can hear it who need to hear it, so it can either help them leave Beachbody or whatever other company they're with, or just completely deter them from joining in the first place. And I joined the other ladies here so we can get all of our messages out and share the knowledge and the true facts so people are able to make an informed decision.
My turn. Hi, I'm Jen Baruso. I am a certified personal trainer, former Beachbody coach, and I too am sick and tired of toxic diet culture and fitness culture, which Beachbody is there. It embodies it. Autumn embodies it. Carl embodies it. The coaches embody it. So I do everything I can to bring the education and the facts and point out when they're wrong and just making shit up. Yeah, I was a Beachbody coach on and off from 2012 to 2008. I got to 1-star qualifying, but ended up not holding that for the 6 weeks because I had a couple people drop out. My upline was pissed, and I didn't care because I was out the door. And I haven't seen any of these videos yet, and I don't really pay attention to this coach's content a lot. So I'm kind of excited to see what my reactions are going to be.
I'm very excited, and surprisingly, and I guess it's a surprise to me, she has almost 400,000 followers on YouTube. So she's doing the social media thing, and it's very interesting to see
And
the stark contrast between.
And that's where a lot of her like recruits have came from, is her YouTube, because she barely mentions Beachbody on her YouTube channel. She funnels it from her YouTube to like her Instagram, just like Emily Fowler does with TikTok. She funnels it, uses it as a funnel to recruit.
And then even then on her Instagram and even on her website, there is no mention of Beachbody. It's my virtual gym. It's my booty program. It's my meal plans.
Yeah, and she has drawn everyone in because she is the ultimate Disney mom. Like Disney, I'm not
Disney adult. She doesn't have kids. She's a Disney adult.
She's a Disney adult, and like the amount of money that she spends on Disney crap is like mind blowing. And they even have a Disney house.
Yeah, let's also mention the fact that her husband, she comes from money. Well, she married into money. Her husband is the owner of the equivalent to Trader Joe's or something like that here.
Family.
His family.
The owner of. Go ahead.
She's going to tell you that that's not true. She's going to tell you that she was really struggling and poor, and that Andre was going to have to start paying her bills. So she had to get the Beachbody business working.
What?
It's true. She was so poor. You have no idea how hard it was for her. It's true.
Okay.
Tell me you're deceptive without telling me you're deceptive.
My
guy.
What this chain of grocery stores are. I'm going to do some investigations. What do we know what it is?
It's in Canada.
Okay, I'll look it up.
Andre Belmar.
Okay,
The
gotcha.
one thing that I will say about them, as opposed to all of the other ones that we have seen, he works the business, believe it or not. He doesn't like post and recruit, but he runs a lot of the team meetings. He's doing a lot of the things behind the scenes.
Wow.
So, as opposed to the other ones who just put their husband in to stack and to double dip, he's actually doing things. So I will give them that props.
Wow. Okay. Let me see. Okay, so here's the video. Let me see if y'all can hear it, because we know sometimes that happens. Oh, no. Wait, what's going on? Okay.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. So welcome you guys.
Nope, that's not gonna work.
I am so
Can you
freaking
hear
excited
that?
about this one, because Angie was the person that I watched literally, and I was in my corporate job office, and I was watching how she signed up for her mom and her husband to go Emerald, and I was like, oh my goodness, like this.
Lynn, I think it's your headset. Is the sound okay for everyone compared to like our inputs? And it's a little low. I don't know how to turn it up. The audio from that we downloaded might be a little. Now, here's what I can do. I tried to turn up their audio too, so I don't know.
Did you guys catch that? Though we are 20 seconds in, and she just told you that Angie stacked in order to get to rank advance. She said she was watching as Angie signed up Andre and her mom in order to rank advance. We're 20 seconds in.
Wow.
And it's called Farm Boy. That's what it's called.
Oh,
Farm
I've
Boy.
heard of that. Holy moly. Oh.
And so as simple as that sounds of how it happened for me, I want you guys to understand that simplicity of going emerald and starting your business really comes down to mindset. And that's what we're going to like do for you guys. And so we're in here, we're just going to share the goods. We're going to talk about conversations. We're going to talk about how the heck Mrs. Angie went emerald first, how it all started, you know, because it starts here. So I want Angie to take it away first. And she's going to give like kind of her story and how it goes, and then kind of walk through some things. And then I'll give us some conversation tips and just give you the goods. So let's just kick it off. You guys have an open mind, but also have fire in your little touch and get ready to go.
I love that. And can I say, like, if you're multitasking during this, just take the time, like, for your business. Like, I often see people multitasking these calls,
Rude.
which is fine. I'm a multitasker during like audiobooks, but I feel like just out of even how much prep it takes for these calls, like Mandy and I have been prepping this. She put a ton of work into the slides and the conversations for this, and literally to give you gold. So just out of that respect,
Out of respect for me, can you stop doing what you're doing so that you can really look at me and listen to my stuff?
I need your undivided attention.
Oh my God. Are you serious?
But you're your own boss.
Oh my God. You're your own boss, but please follow everything that I say. Okay, ma'am.
And you're
Wow.
paying, and you're making it so I am making an insane amount of money, and I'm going to shame you so that you make me more. Like,
And you're watching this for free because you're not getting paid.
Uh-huh. Yep.
I guess I can't control the speed.
Like, let me completely waste your time without you making any money, but I'm making money off of you.
Well, and
Ma'am.
they're married, no kids. So most of the time they hold these calls in the middle of the day, and moms are trying to feed kids lunch and do all of these different things and still work their business. And so not many of us had the option to just give our full attention to any training and sit down and make notes. Like, we couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And you would feel so guilty, like, right out of the bat. It's like,
That's what I was going to say. I would have been like, well, at least I'm here. Yeah, I'm multitasking, but I have humans to take care of, and at least I'm here. I could have just not came. So
Yeah. And again, we've never been able to have kids, but I have 5. I have 2 brothers and 2 sisters. I remember it was a big deal for my mom to make time to be able to do other stuff. So it's like, you remember that even now. So it's like, how rude of her to come in and say, wow, I have no constraints on my time. You need to give me all your attention. Ma'am, no, absolutely not. Are you? Oh, be good. If you're free range listening, please put headphones in, because I'm going to try to be good, but it may not happen.
You're already frustrated a minute and a half in. So I would say, mom, put some headphones.
So when I say that I created Anchor Fit Club to be the complete opposite of what Beachbody does, I have group calls every month. And I tell people to show up in the way that works best for them. And if you're not on camera, you're not on camera.
Love it.
If you don't engage, you don't engage. If it's just on in the background, it's in the background. You're going to get the replay.
Yeah.
Show up in the way that works best for you.
And
yeah, and I mean, if she doesn't have any kids, what the audacity of her saying, just ignore your kids for the next 2 hours and pay attention to me because I'm needy and I need your money. Like, ma'am, if you don't have kids, you can't say that to moms. Like, what if they have a child with special needs or something?
Should we at the end of this call, should we show did we show the whole special thing they did at Summit for her with the whole little fairy tale thing? Did we show
no
about that yet? So should we add that in at the end?
Yes.
Well, we're gonna do that. I mean, there's a lot to snark. We're gonna be snarking on her for a bit. I did say no kids. I said no kids, but that's also
funnier. This is also hilarious. Okay, let's see. Go back. Okay, there we go.
That you're all give it all of your attention, but also what you're going to get out of it. There's no way you're going to retain stuff if you're not taking notes. Like, some people take notes. Tony Robbins taught me that. So
Tony
I know
Robbins,
Mandy's kind of filled my head up with a bunch of air.
That's why there's replays.
This time a little bit more than a year ago, like a smidge over a year ago. Mandy was Emerald coach. She came to Ottawa, Canada to visit Andre and I, and she said the following: I don't know if I'm as good as the other people here, and I don't know if I'm deserving to be at this retreat. And I just thought, are you crazy? And here we are, like, you don't know. And she had 2 coaches at the time, which I'm guessing was Danae and your mom, or your best friend and your mom. Anywho, so we all go through a whole like negative spin cycle in our head. I think that it's really easy to look at a coach that has achieved the things like Mandy's going to go into bazillion star diamond qualifying in a couple of weeks, which is insane. She's probably going to outrank me dead. And, you know, it's really easy to look at a top 10 coach or a coach that you see speak on the National League of Call or on the team calls, and you're like, I can't do what they're doing. But you didn't know them when they were in the beginning. They're exactly where you are. And that's the thing. So I literally made a list so that we could laugh at me of all of the things that I suck at, all the ways that I sucked as a new coach and how it got to Emerald. So I want you guys to know I didn't hit Success Club in my first month. I didn't hit Success Club in my second month. I didn't hit it in my third month. I didn't even make a sale, like, at all. I decided in like 3.5 months into my business that I was going to do something. And that's when I signed up. My husband had everyone kind of has their spouse, I guess, on like.
So she basically just said, if you did any of the things that I did, that I'm about to tell you, you suck now. Instead of, that's not good leadership. And I was going to say that too earlier. Even if someone wanted to multitask and just listen to you while you were doing this, if you were a good teacher, a good leader, they'd retain that information. If you talk in circles like most uplines, big shots from MLMs, yeah, they're probably not going to retain anything because you're just talking in circles and not making any sense.
Yeah.
So that's all you. That's a you problem that they're not retaining the information, not them.
Yep. Agree.
Other person to go Emerald. So I thought, I'm going to call the scariest person that I know, who's my mom, biggest naysayer. She's in law, so she was not all about the whole randomly signing up for something and using a SID number and all that stuff. And I still convinced her. So I always use as an example, if I could sign up the scariest person in my life that I just want to make.
So she's admitting to stacking. She's admitting that she talked to her mom, and her mom is like in law. So you would think she would know that, like, wait, you can't use my social to run a business that I'm not running. And it's crazy to me that they all just admit it, and it shows how prevalent it is. Because Beachbody will tell you, like, compliance will tell you, like, no, we've taken care of the few issues. I'm like, ma'am, I have 25 maybe YouTube clips of different coaches telling you how to stack.
This is how you're taught. You're taught this whenever you start. Like, number one, there's 2 things that they teach you right off the bat. Number one, they want you to do, they don't want you to mention Beachbody on anything. You can't mention it. They don't want you to mention it in your bio. They don't want you to mention it in your stories. They don't want you to mention it at all. They want you to do, like, what is it called? Curiosity marketing, to where people have to come to you, or attraction marketing. And then also they teach you it's U+2. And usually U+2 to go Emerald is A, your spouse, partner, whatever. And then B, your best friend, your mom, whoever, right? Those are 2. And they need to be controlled accounts so you can filter your orders through them after you get your 90 PV. You get your 90 PV first, and then you filter your orders through your controlled accounts.
Yep.
Period. That's what they teach you. And it's
especially if it's going to be someone who is a retail customer, you always put them under your spouse account, because you will get the exact same amount in the commission, but it should also probably kick you into a cycle bonus. And so then you'll get an additional $14, $16, or $18. So instead of making 40, you'd be making 54 to 58, depending on your rank. So they honestly, yes, it is taught by corporate. They're corporate videos. They teach you how to do this. Corporate teaches you how to do this.
But compliance says it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So basically it's not curiosity marketing or whatever Cheryl said earlier. It's deceptive marketing. That's more what it is.
Yep.
And it's crazy because they tell you these things, and then they put the opposite in the policies and the procedures. And so they tell you in the policies and procedures that you have to have in your bio, independent Team Beachbody coach. And the only one I have seen that is even close is my former upline, and she has top 1% Beachbody coach or something like that. So she's the only one I've seen that is even close to it.
Yeah, my former upline says she is a professional best friend. Professional best friend. And Hallmark movie aficionado.
No.
Yes. Yes.
It's awful.
Oh my God, that's so bad.
In that case, I'm the queen of the Mexicans, all right? So I'll put that in my bio like now.
The number one.
Mine just says coach. She has coach in there, no Beachbody. I help women to change their lives through healthy habits, personal growth, and financial security.
Ugh, that's
Not
no.
Mine says accountant turned CEO.
Oh hell.
Queen
No.
crown. Virtual health, fitness, and biz coach.
Ugh.
Helping women look and feel fab inside and out.
Oh. Oh.
Forget it.
Your former upline is in my reel today, Cheryl.
Did you post it yet?
I posted it. Yeah.
Oh,
You
you're gonna
have
die.
or you have?
Oh,
Okay.
it's amazing.
Oh my God.
Proud. Anyone can do this. And it really was for me that like first dip in the pond, like, okay, I can do this and I've got this. And then like it's on to diamond and on to 2-star. And it wasn't ever about staying put at that. It wasn't a pit stop. It was like, let's keep going. It was like a speed bump in the road. Like, let's keep going. So it was like a little high five to Angie, and I kept making it happen. But I want you guys to know I didn't hit Success Club in my first month. I didn't sign anyone up. I didn't have Facebook. I was one of those people that was like, oh, I need Facebook. Okay, I'll open up a Facebook fan page and a personal page. And I did that. 100 followers on Instagram, and I would get around 1 like. My pick. I wanted to give you guys visuals, and I was like, I'm going to go back and see my Instagram in the beginning. That's how bad it is that I didn't want to share it with you guys. If you really want a good laugh, you guys can go back. It's awful.
Are you kidding me? Where's the time spent on creating this training? She just said earlier on, 2 minutes ago, that she spent all this time, and please pay attention. She didn't even take the time to go back and show the screenshot of her picture. Are you serious?
And that would be like, for me, that would be like the most relatable thing, right? To show that how she did start small, and that, yeah, she only would get a couple likes, but then she was able to build it up. You would think she would want to include that to be encouraging.
Yeah.
So far, this is not worth my undivided attention, my guy. So got to do better.
Be rolling my eyes. I'm like, I can't share this with him. It's embarrassing. And I still, though, and I said to him, and he said at the same time, I said, you know what, though? It's still school some people on the team, because I was showing up. So yes, it was awful. Yes, the posts were brutal, but I was there. So I once, I remember Danae had said this on a call. If you go to do a group invite or a coach invite, it means nothing if you haven't been sharing for the past couple of weeks. So I had been sharing my journey, had been doing that. So when I did decide to share a transformation, which was one of the ways that I sucked, it took me so long to share a transformation. It took me so long to be okay with sharing that I was a coach. I will be honest, I was embarrassed. I didn't know what people would say. And my big belief was I thought people were going to be like, oh, what's she into?
Maybe, just maybe, that was your subconscious telling you were doing something wrong. And you didn't suck. And like you said, at least you were there. Well, then why can't the people on this call multitask? At least they're there.
Yeah.
I hate it here. She's not making any
she
sense.
still doesn't share that she's a coach in her posts.
Yeah. Like you're supposed to. And I know do I love rules? Kind of. I can't help it. I was born this way. I just can't. I don't understand why they can't follow the rules. And if they've created rules that are hard for their own coaches to follow, maybe Beachbody needs to look at it. But again, those rules are in place for consumer protection, and they don't seem to give a flippity flop about the consumer. They just
that's my closing line to compliance every time I email now. Protect your consumers. And here's capital letters with exclamation points.
Yeah. So here's the problem that I ran into, because I have OCD and I didn't know it at the time. That the diagnosis came later and a lot of things started making sense. But I am very much a rule follower. And if you tell me something, I assume that you, as my leader, knows what to do, and I will do it, and I will do it to a T. And because I don't want to disappoint, I don't want to, that's on me. But that's why all of these people, when we post the stacking stuff, everyone's like, I didn't know that you couldn't do that. I didn't know. And that's why everyone's appalled, because we all were breaking the regulations, having zero clue.
Yeah, but you were following their instruction, and the big pyramid performer, the top of the top, they should know better. And then there's a lot of responsibility on them that they are leading all these people. I say astray, but they're using others to manipulate the consumer and to line their own pockets, and that's wrong. It's wrong because they're doing it deceptively. And they're taking advantage of other people. They're taking advantage of people like you, Amy. I mean, all of y'all, in saying, oh, this is okay. I mean, when you go into every corporate situation, they tell you what you can and can't do. And like, okay, here's the rules. And you go into a Beachbody situation and it's hit or miss, whether you even know the right
Yeah, and
rules.
you expect them to know what they're talking about because they're your upline, right? You don't expect for them to misguide you and make you or like encourage you to break the rules. Which in some cases, in my opinion, I follow the rules for different reasons though, because my punishment would be much greater than, just because I'm a person of color, regardless of the situation, the backlash would be way bigger. So I think that's one of the bones I have to pick with Beachbody, that their uplines encourage the downlines to break the rules when they don't they can't necessarily understand the repercussions that could have for someone that's not their skin color. And I hate to bring it into it, but it's just the reality of things.
It is the reality.
It is the reality.
One of the biggest problems, so one of the stacking videos, it was done by Lindsay Matway. If you are anywhere in the Beachbody world, she is like,
You've seen it.
Everyone is under her in the pyramid. And there were like tens of thousands of views on that video before she took it down a couple weeks ago. But like, you are getting it from the very, very top. And you cannot tell me with the number of views that video had that they didn't know.
Mm-hmm. And the crazy thing is that, like, I think we talked about this. I can't remember who I talked to on the podcast about it, but when you think about these top coaches, right? They are considered like celebrities in the Beachbody world. Okay. Yeah. So you have Lindsay Matway, which if you've been in Beachbody, every single person has seen Lindsay Matway's thing about how you should set up your downline. Everybody has. Everybody has seen that training. Yeah, we have. But even in Beachbody world, that's one of the trainings that they direct you to, right? And Lindsay Matway is like a celebrity. All of the top trainers are like a celebrity. So when they tell you to do something, you're going to do it because you believe that that's how they got there. And so you're going to do what it takes to get to where they are because that's your ultimate goal.
Yeah.
So when they tell you to give them your undivided attention, you do that, even though it's not worth
it. Correct. 100%.
Every
your person probably turned on their camera and put down their phone and are sitting here like this, or they have a notebook that they're taking notes. Yep.
For what? I don't. And again, y'all know how picky I am about presentations. I'm picky on myself, but again, for her to say, I've spent so much time on this and you couldn't even scroll back. You couldn't even do the very least.
Is there a presentation? Like, does she push present on Canva? Like, is there anything, or is it her talking the entire time?
If she's talking the entire time, I'm going to lose my mind.
I'm trying to remember. I watched a lot of trainings yesterday while medicated. And so I'm not sure. I don't remember all of them anymore.
Low-key, that sounds like a good time.
I'm not gonna lie, it made it a lot more entertaining.
So I didn't have a ton of followers. I was shy. I would turn red at the drop of pin. I couldn't do video because I would get really, really nervous and I would say all the time. And so I had to get better at that. I waited a really long time sharing my before and after picture. I thought they needed a website. So that held me back a lot. And still to this day, I'm like, website not really usable. So I want you guys to know that all of the things that you think that you need to do to be perfect, you don't. You're just like everyone else that gets started. We all start at ground zero. And the biggest thing for me, and this is the part that I want to talk is about, I avoided inviting my friends and family completely. I went on to Instagram to basically hide, and I started sharing my journey there. At least shared, though I will say I did more than the average bear by sharing, but I avoided my warm market completely because my family's scary. Everyone's family scary. You don't want them to judge you. You don't want your friends to judge you. I had some friends block me. I went through all of that, and I just want you guys to know, here I am 5 years later, and I'm just fine, you know, and my mom is super proud, the person that was like the most skeptical, you know, and I still have those people that are skeptical to this day. So it won't ever go away. It's up to you to move past it and to grow past it and to not let that stupid limiting belief. And I'm telling you, 5 years later, if you've made it into the Million Club and you're in the top 10, you're not going to really think that it was worth your delay of your success to make that person's opinion such a big factor in the success of your life. So
okay, but what do the numbers actually say about how many people can make it to the top? Because the numbers that we're looking at isn't good, and it's not, and that's fine. That's well and dandy that you can build your triangle so that you can continually keep yourself at the top. But I mean, this training, I don't.
And she doesn't mention the fact that, like, you are an influencer, ma'am. You have hundreds of thousands of followers, and you built up this whole different business and this leg of business. So you have a funnel. I had no choice but to go to my warm market. And here's the other difference. And this is what doesn't make sense to me. I was so excited by the outcome that I had and by the progress that I had. I was like fully bought in that this is why, like, Beachbody did this. Not that I did it. It was Beachbody, of course. And so I was telling everybody because I was so excited and I wanted to help my friends and family. And so for her to say that, like, she wouldn't go to her warm market, that is so bizarre to me, because we're always told to go to our warm market right off the bat because you don't have anybody else.
Yeah.
I think that just shows you that they're living in a different, like, reality or whatever, especially when they have a huge following. Because not that long ago I did a video in Spanish with English subtitles, if you guys would like to check it out, about this actress from Mexico who had like 50K followers or something, right? And she made this whole life talking about how she no longer wants to be famous. She doesn't want people to remember her for being a child actress. She wants people to praise her for being, at that time, in Mary Kay, which, plot twist, she ended up leaving Mary Kay. Now she's in pharmacy. Again, alternate reality. So she expects all her downline to do the same thing and accomplish the same things that she has accomplished with her large following. And I just don't think she understands, or she doesn't want to understand, that that's not how it works.
Yeah. And again, if they were actual good, like, marketers or trainers, they would teach people who are not naturally good at getting people to, like, be invested in their story, how to be invested. I mean, it's a skill, and their trainings are always fall short because she has this complex funnel system set up. Her YouTube feeds into her Instagram, that feeds into her Beachbody business, and it doesn't seem like she teaches anyone else how to do that either. And if you don't know how to teach someone else how to do that because you're already you're already nice to look at, or you're already in the right, I don't know. I'm just trying to say, like, she has it easy, and she has not communicated how to help someone else where all those things don't check the boxes for them.
But you know why? Because they would be more of a competition if they had the same following that she does, if they grew as fast as she did.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of one of the problems overall. So in my before stay-at-home mom life, I ran a human resources department in a call center, and I did trainings on how to be an effective leader and how to do all of these things. The leaders in MLM are only there because they were good at marketing or conning people. They're not leaders. They don't know how.
Or they went viral.
Right? So they are not equipped. It's like when I had someone who was super technical, and then you promote them to supervisor. That's an entirely different skill set. It doesn't translate. And we expect it to translate, and just like, oh, you rank advanced to diamond, so now you're a leader, go lead. Just Watch Tony Robbins and you'll be fine. I'm sure.
You know who they remind me of? That one manager where you work a regular job and instead of helping the team to accomplish a goal, they just sit on their ass in the office.
Yep.
That's who top leaders remind me of.
Yep. Agree.
The day that I went Emerald, super simple. I signed up my husband and my mom, and I needed 2 active coaches. They both signed up with challenge packs, so it also got me to Success Club 4. And that was, you know how I said I didn't hit Success Club?
Kate, okay, sorry. She's making me so mad because that in and of itself is such a privileged statement. I decided I wanted to go Emerald, so I went ahead and purchased 2 $140 to $180 packs so that I would be an Emerald. How many of us had that opportunity? Like, none of it.
Hang on, Amy, real quick. Truth One is in the comments again. Speculating about people's sexuality.
I'm
You're
blocking
the last
them.
one in here doing that last time. We're not going to do that here.
I'm just gonna block him if that's okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, bye. Error occurred. Oh, are they blocked? If someone, I don't know who's.
They're in.
I just blocked them, I thought, but it didn't work. Hold on.
Whose channel are they on? Because I'm a moderator for DC's.
They're on mine. I had blocked them.
Okay. I just put them in timeout, and then if they come back, I'll try to block them again. They did not work. So, thank you, Amber.
Month 1.
But yeah, privilege. Sorry, privilege. Ma'am, some of us sometimes don't have money for groceries. So for you to sit here and pretend like everyone can buy 2 different packages or whatever.
Yeah.
Shows how far from reality you are.
You think about it. So if she was a coach, she was getting Shakeology, which was $90 a month, right? She had to afford that. That was in order for her to stay active. And then she decided that she was going to purchase 2 total solution packs, because that's like what they call them now, which is about $140 to $160. So what is that? Like 3?
Yeah. And again,
3 something?
in a regular business, you don't have to do that. You don't have to pretend to buy stock to make your target, bottom line look like you're more profitable. People just come and buy your stuff at Target, or people
She had to buy those packs and continue to pay the monthly fee for those.
Yep.
So there's another $32 a month, and they had to have active volume. So they all had to be on Shakeology auto ship.
Yeah.
So there's $240 a month after the challenge packs.
Who's the customer again?
Yeah. Yep. And again, there are a lot of seemingly a lot of fake customers, and that's not.
I decided
ethical.
to flip a switch. There was a day, and I often talk about this, and I shared this on a call today, and people said, like, okay, I really wish I would have known that about you. I think a lot of people think that I came into this with a lot of money.
You did. Look at your
A lot
fridge.
of people think that I came into this with a lot of time. I was unemployed by chance because Andre and I owned a clothing business. We still technically own it. We don't work it because it doesn't make as much money as Beachbody, but we had a clothing business. And I had just graduated from architecture, so I was on the job hunt. And so I was milking that job hunt as long as I could. And I had about a 3-month window. And on that 3-month window, about when I decided to off my ass and hit Emerald, Andre called, and I had just gotten off the couch napping in the middle of the day, and I was watching a show called The Chew. I don't know if you know what that is. You shouldn't know what that is. And it's like daytime TV garbage. And I had just been watching that, and I fell asleep.
It wasn't
to daytime TV, and I woke up, and he called me. He's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm working my business." And he was like, "You sound like you're asleep." And he said, "Your visa just went into overdraft. Do you know what that means?" And I said, "No." And he's like, "I have to pay it for it because you're not making any money with Beachbody, and furthermore, you went into the red. So I have to pay bill because you don't have any money."
You don't know what overdraft is? Okay, a live chat. If you don't know, if you don't have enough, I don't even know if I need to explain this, but let's say you have $300 in your bank account and you spend $400. That means your $100, you're going to get slapped by your bank for doing that. I know the live chat probably knows that, but again, her situation is not the same because she did come from money. There's lots of people who have to.
Not a lot of people have a rich husband who would be able to pay that bill for her.
Well, let's face it. I mean, come on, listen. She just said she didn't know what an overdraft is. And that is 100% the most privileged thing I've ever heard anybody say in my entire life. Because if you grew up poor and your parents were living paycheck to paycheck, you knew what an overdraft was. You
Yep.
know what it,
And I remember like calculating, like, okay, if I go to Walmart and buy groceries, I'm going to get an overdraft fee anyway. And so I'm going to go ahead and get some cash back, because then at least that's only one overdraft charge instead of on multiple things. Right? I mean, like, come on. It's the whole thing. Like, well, I have checks. I still have checks. So doesn't that mean I have money? Like, no. Oh, she's driving me nuts.
I just want to say, dear Mrs. White Privileged Lady, if you don't know what an overdraft fee is, I don't believe that, because you said you graduated as an architect and you were sitting in your couch with your rich husband at work, and he's able to pay for your overdraft fees. I don't think you know what broke is. I don't think you understand how you pushing this narrative of, oh, but it's okay because your husband will bail you out, and it's okay because blah, blah, blah. It's so damaging. Listen, in this house, we are a one-income household. My husband would be so upset if I was sitting on my ass at home and overdrew our bank account, because it's our bank account. Would he pay it? Yes. However, he'd be like, you want to invest in something, then you got to get your ass to work, because we're barely scraping by. You have to make more informed financial decisions. So again, this shit shows your privilege right here, because never in a million years could I just be like, oh no, I don't know what that is, and then just expect my husband to take care of it. That's not how things work.
And she basically used this credit card to sign her mom and her I'm guessing her husband up. Is that what we're getting? Like, maybe it's wrong, but that's what she's doing. So he's trying to tell her, she tried to say the quiet part out loud, but then she caught herself, right? Where he said, this business isn't making you any money.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Here's the difference, though. Andre knew what could be, though, and so he pushes her a lot, and he works the business a lot, because he sees the scam for what it is, and he knows how to make it work.
Wow. That's
I'm just trying to picture myself right now telling my husband, yeah, I don't know what an overdraft fee. He's be like, are you fucking shitting me right now?
Yeah.
And my husband loves me, and we we have real good communication, but he'd be pissed if I said some dumb shit like that.
It's like budgeting 101. Like, come on.
Yes. Yep. Maybe they don't teach math in architect. Oh wait, you'd have to know math as an architect. Oh my god.
That really hit home for me, you guys. And I don't often
look at her diamond rings on her fingers.
But I didn't have money when I started. So the whole
diamond,
I don't have the money to pay for my Shakeology.
On her.
You want this thing to work, it's an investment.
She had no money, but she doesn't know what an overdraft fee is.
Hold on. You guys, you need to rewind it maybe like 1 second and hear what she says right here.
Really freaking embarrassing, but I didn't have money when I started. So the whole bullshit of I don't have the money to pay for my Shakeology. If you want this thing to work, it's an investment. It's not money spent. It's an investment in yourself to grow.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
As someone who has had to choose between diapers and formula, you have no idea what not having money is. So kindly sit the fuck down.
I mean, and that's the whole thing with all of this. And you think she has thousands of people underneath her who are supporting her lifestyle and who are making these choices. And so for her to say these things, it's so frustrating to me, because I think we all were probably in that situation when we were purchasing Shakeology. It was like we had to make some pretty serious sacrifices in other areas.
Oh my god. Autumn's in the chat. I'm taking a screenshot. What's up, Autumn?
Hey, Autumn.
Hey, Autumn.
What's up?
Autumn, you should stick around.
Do you have nothing better to do? Then why don't you encourage your own coaches in Beachbody to follow policies and procedures? And then also Why don't you talk to Carl and tell him to make the coaches follow the FTC and the FDA and the health claims? That's what we have something better to do because Beachbody's not doing it.
Wait,
This isn't your tape, Autumn, but I would love to react to your tape, my girl.
1 second believe Autumn Calabrese is on here talking about which one of you said you're going to punch me in my I don't believe it for 1 second. Hang on, this is
All I'm saying is thanks for the view, because
Thank you, Autumn. We appreciate you.
Yep.
but here's the
Yep.
thing.
She's got a lot of good content for us.
and she's friends with all of these top coaches.
Yeah,
Listen
why don't you talk to your besties like Christina and tell her to quit driving and storying at the same time on her Instagram?
Yep.
My cafe was
Autumn Calabrese. Is this
not
real?
too. Come on.
Is this a joke?
This is gonna
Can't this?
hang on. I'm gonna click. Wait,
Yeah.
Can I click? Okay, hang on. I'm gonna go and see if this is actually her YouTube channel. Comment
This is wow.
No, there's 3 subscribers, no videos.
Nope.
Yeah.
Block. Bye.
Yeah, bye.
There's no way she would even have time for us for real.
That's hilarious.
Did you see
Bye.
everybody just start going off on Autumn? Sorry, y'all. Like this, DC went on.
I'm just not having it. I'm not here for it. I just
It's probably Truth One.
yeah.
Probably that
Yep.
person.
And so
Yep.
I continued on with that. And I thought, I have a choice. I can either go get a job at Starbucks to make some part-time money, or I can build a friggin' empire and I can
Starbucks
start it
has
today and
good
do it. So that's when I called my
employee.
mom. And I think that my reason why became a joke or became bigger than the joke of my fear of who would judge me. Like I just saw either me working at Starbucks for the rest of my life and feeling like I had no worth and I wasn't contributing, and my husband would be helping me bring
Wait a
myself.
second.
Starbucks,
Oh.
you're muted. Sure. Oh.
I don't understand. First of all, she just said she graduated being an architect. So she has a degree in being an architect. But she's going to work at Starbucks for the rest of her life because she can't find a job being an architect. Like,
So
that's
she
what
might
she
be
was
a
going to
bad
have
architect.
to do. If,
How bad of an architect is she that she can't find a job? Also,
I mean,
Starbucks
this-
is not the worst thing. They pay for your school, you know that, right? Like they
They
help
have
you out with
healthcare.
school if you want to go to your school. They have healthcare. They pay you an hourly wage, even if it is a little bit. That's something you can't say for Beachbody, my girl.
you get tips every single week. Every single week.
And
Yep.
some of them are unionized now.
Yep.
Yeah.
And access to delicious coffee. What else do you want? I love that
You get a
job.
free bag.
And
You
I
get a
think
free
you
bag.
get healthcare for part time. I think so. You can
Yeah.
get $100 if you have to supplement your other job and get healthcare. So I mean,
tuition reimbursement. They
Yeah.
like they have a lot of things for their employees. So I think it's a great job.
I just don't understand the whole fact of the matter that she says that she was either going to have to make Beachbody work or she was going to work at Starbucks for the rest of her life. Like that doesn't that's
Why would she like? Yeah, you go to school and you get a degree for architecture, but no, it's Beachbody or Starbucks.
it's wild. Unless she was a horrible architect, and then maybe she couldn't get a job. I don't know.
Or I could do something. And I had it right in front of me. And it was up to me to get by the balls and run with it or to let it pass me by. So I saw that, and I'm glad that I saw that, but it was hard and it was super embarrassing. It's even embarrassing to admit that now, but that was my life then. Was I didn't have money, and I had to make a decision that I was going to actually have work ethic and do this and build this like a real business. So I signed up my mom.
I was
And
actually going
gonna
to do
work
this, and I was
for
gonna
real
have a
business.
work ethic. So
So maybe she really didn't have money. Maybe Andre had her on an allowance, and he was really. That's why she overdrafted, because she was
Even
on an
then,
allowance.
that's poor financial decision, though.
and yeah, exactly. And she just said anybody who is not making this work does not have a work ethic.
Yeah.
Ma'am, no. Also, she just said, I'm gonna work this like a real business. So then I signed my mom up. That's not how it works in a real business. They have real customers in a real business.
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, my mom is one of my members,
Well,
But-
I mean, that's different.
but she actually gets a service for it. Like, she gets training. Yeah, I don't have to sign up people underneath me for my, like, no.
Yeah, building a pyramid is easy architecture. That is correct.
That's the simplest way to how I can explain how I went Emerald. I signed up 2 people, but from there, I decided that once I went Emerald, I thought, you know what? To all the haters, I just rank advanced. I'm one coach or one challenger away from Success Club now. And it kind of gave me that posture of like, I'm doing the things and I'm going to hit Success Club this month. And I went for Success Club 10 that month and I hit it. And I've hit it ever since then for 62 months in a row. So if you ever want to know what Million Club looks like, I just gave you the recipe. Success Club 10 for 62-ish.
Not true.
Probably faster than me.
Not true. Not true. I hit at least Success Club 10 every single month, and I still ended up in the hole.
Wow.
That's not true. It's just not true. But she did a call. It was one of the other calls. She was at Success Club 64 and Andre was at 36. So when she says Success Club 10 and that's what you need to do, no, she was Success Club 100.
Yeah.
So don't say 10 is going to put you in that position.
Yeah.
The lies. Ooh, the lies with this one.
Yep.
That was a little bit of a slug.
Whoops. Your screen, DC.
Sluggish, but Mandy will probably school me in that. But that's the recipe, is consistency over a long period of time. And so I hit Success Club 10 that month. And what I started to realize with why Emerald was this big thing, hopefully you guys all know Emerald is by now, 2 people active, sign them up with challenge packs, you'll be at Success Club 4, and it's kind of 2 birds with one stone, you'll be 1 person away from Success Club that month. But I started to realize with why it was such a big deal was income. Like, I know that it's kind of taboo to talk about income, but team cycle bonus, like I noticed, I didn't have a ton of training, by the way, as a new coach. Like, we're very lucky to have the training that we have today with the back office.
What training? We're 10 minutes in right now, and we've only heard you talk about yourself. I don't get it. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah, so first all she said is, support me. I had no money, but I had someone to rescue me, and I had enough money to buy 2 packages, but I was poor. So if you're poor too, come and join my team.
Yes, that's literally all she said, and it's awful. It's awful.
With the team up for university, and I know Mandy has a ton of training for her team. Like, I had the national wake up call, and I tried to hack into other people's team calls and their universities and their training websites. I'm not kidding, and I succeeded. But
succeeded.
I was determined. I wanted to be successful.
Same.
So what I started to realize was how to grow that income was really the cycle bonus. So when I realized, I'm like, oh, I made $14 this week. Like, why? Like an extra for it. And I was like, oh, team cycle bonus. And that kept growing. And then it got to $72. And then it got to $500. And then when it hit $1,000 from literally just sitting there. Like, that's not me signing more people up. That's my team forming and growing and growing.
You know how you can make $14 in a week?
Admitted it. It's a pyramid scheme.
At a regular job. Yeah, at a regular job. And not only once a week. You don't make just $14 once a week. You make it every hour. Every hour.
And you don't have to do a dang thing. So, I mean, that's the thing that kills me is when you get on these calls, they tell you it is a pyramid scheme. And then on like when you do the what is coaching call, it's an entirely different story. But she just told you it's not retail. It is not retail. It's building a team. It's the only way you're going to make money.
Wow.
That projection was over a long period of time. That was over like the span of a year. But if you ever want to know how do you get to $1,000 a week in your business, it's your team cycle bonus. You've got to go Emerald first. It's the most lucrative part of your business. It's literally making money while and that's why this is the best business in the world, hands down. Any millionaire will tell you. Andre and I had the opportunity to meet a very successful man that had opened up. He has like hundreds of gyms in the United States, and he owns a house in Golden Oaks. We met him and he asked,
Who? Tell us the story. Tell us the whole story, my guy.
Yeah.
What is it that you guys do, and how are you affording a $3.5 million home in Orlando? And you guys are 30 years old. And we're like, well, we work with body and we're coaches. And even then I was still like, oh my God, is this guy gonna think I'm crazy? And he was like, smart kids. He's like, you guys will work a lot less hard than I did. You have a lot more stability.
Things that didn't happen for $50.
I call bullshit.
This reminds me of the call where the frauders were talking about how they had
The coffee shop and the accountant telling them not to.
had the financial advisor that
Yeah.
told them that going into Beachbody was a good choice, and that
Was
made
better than opening up a coffee shop.
Well, and she just said that this is going to be more stable than his 100 gyms. Ma'am, if your downline quits, you're out. If
Yep.
Beachbody decides to quit existing, you're out. You don't own anything. You own nothing.
That's why I call bullshit.
Yeah, I'll take things that never happened for 500.
And she also dropped that she owns like a $3.5 million home in Orlando. And I'm like,
yeah, leisurely.
That's their vacation home. That's just their
And she like Airbnbs and B's it because it's like Disney themed.
oh,
So
wow.
she like rents it out.
Yeah, Amy Bailey is trying to copy her with the Disney themed.
That's how that's how you know that you're privileged when you can do shit like that.
Yeah.
Like that shows your privilege right there. So don't tell me that you were broke and you had no money when you started.
Yeah.
Because, ma'am, I don't think you know what being broke is like.
Yeah.
I want to say though, somebody checked and that the house is actually in the corporation. The farm boy is the actual owners. I thought I heard that somewhere. This is me guessing, but someone had said that.
Wouldn't be surprising to me as a way for them to like evade, like do more like shady tax sort of and avoid tax things. You putting it in their corporation, just as a lot of beach bodies did with their LLCs and taking out the PPP loans. So.
Yeah. Yep.
More potential for growth. And I was like, oh my gosh, the old really cool man thinks that I'm awesome. Yay. So I think it was huge validation. Like I will never forget that moment. When I started to grow my income from rank advancing, I understood the possibility of when I build my team, this is what's going to happen. And the effects of my team performing and doing great things for their life and growing. Am I frozen?
Yeah. No, you're not.
Oh no. Oh no. Is it because we're both on? I don't think so. Maybe I'll come back.
It takes her a few minutes. There.
Am I back?
Did you see what Janet said? Like, how about not having rent for the very home you live in? Like,
exactly.
Come on.
Like, how many people, like, millennials like me, like, are realizing that they won't ever own a home because it's impossible right now. And I mean, our rents are over $1,000 a month, and people are just walking around here like, oh, what would an extra $1,000 a month do for you? Well, it would help me not be homeless
and be able to feed my kids, like not have to choose between rent and groceries. Or, I mean, that, and what she doesn't seem to understand is that her whole team, well, I can't say her whole team because she's definitely got some privileged peeps on there, but so many of her team feels that way. And then this is the message they're getting from her.
I think she doesn't understand what being broke is really like, because for us, we just experienced it. Like, we literally just got back on our feet, kind of, sort of. When this whole panorama situation started, right, my husband ended up getting sick. And then right after he had gone back to work, he lost his job. He was jobless for the good part of 3 months, which we had to leave the little tiny house that we were renting for like $700. We had to leave it because we couldn't afford to pay it. And we had to sleep on my mom's floor in the living room on an air mattress. My husband had to work all the way. I live in Texas. He had to go to work to Colorado for months and months on end for us to even be able to have groceries and help out at my mom's a little bit, because if you're Mexican, you don't just live for free at your parents' house. So we had to help out at my parents' house. We had to buy groceries and save up to get this place, which is not super expensive, but like it took us a good year to get back on our feet. And again, within that time of him being jobless and all that stuff, we had to choose between food for us and formula for Leo, because my damn milk never came in. I had to go, instead of buying diapers every other week, I had to cloth diaper because it's the only thing we could afford. And I literally had 6 cloth diapers for $25, and I had to make that shit work for about a year. So don't sit here and tell me that you know what being broke is like when you have never had to choose between you eating and your kid eating, especially as a tiny baby. Leo was like 6 months when this whole situation started.
Yeah. Yep.
This is infuriating. And again, it just shows her privilege.
Yep.
But this is the thing, Karina, like she doesn't see that, right? And for a fact, there are coaches in her downline that are sitting here right now. Like they're in the back of their mind, they see what they know what they're going through, right? But they are believing that she's going to be able to teach them how to get to her rank and how to get to her level of success, right? When in reality, they're not going to, right?
Yeah, and I think
keep pushing in there. They're just going to keep putting their money out until like they don't even have a choice but to choose between Shakeology or rent, basically, right? And so it breaks my heart. Like it's horrible because situations like what you just went through, it's not right at all.
Yeah, and I think that she doesn't understand that privilege is simply just having someone that can bail you out. In our situation, my parents were the same off. Like they were literally just barely scraping by. Same thing with my brother. Like if we could have helped each other out, of course we would have. The thing is we were all in the same situation. So even just having someone to bail you out and help you, that's privilege already. And I don't think she processes that. I don't think she can understand that. Like not having anyone to help you is one of the worst feelings. It's feeling helpless and like you can't do anything. And there was no jobs, because if there was jobs, I would have gotten a job, gotten my mom to help me with Leo. But at the time, no one was hiring. Why? Because everything was going on. Nobody was needed. Everything was shutting down. So like, tell me again how you are not privileged, and just simply having someone to fall back on that can help you and has a little bit more than you do isn't privilege.
Well, and keep in mind that the same time period that you were talking about is the same time period that she went number one and made all of her money. Yep. And so you're like, no, it didn't impact you the same. You were not even close, because she instead was preying on people who were thinking, I'm in a horrible situation and maybe I can make some money from home by doing this, because you're telling me it's possible. And
yeah, I mean, that was me. That makes me think of like, my upline. She was out jet setting around the world and taking these fabulous trips, while the coaches under her, like me, were on food stamps and still struggling because we didn't have an income because Jake was in school. So we had food stamps and the child support that I got from Peyton's dad, which was not a lot. So
during the panorama,
it's such like a disconnect.
It's a huge disconnect because
they don't think of anybody else but themselves.
Yeah. During the panorama, I ended up my husband, he actually worked for Domino's at the time, right? So he was delivering pizzas. And I had lost my job because LG stopped making phones. So I had no job. And my upline told me, well, this is perfect. Now you can go 100% into your business. You don't need to look for a job.
Oh my God.
At that same time, at that same time, I got preyed on by Monet too. And I almost joined. But when I talked to my husband about it, like a healthy relationship would, he was like, yeah, this is like Princess House. My mother-in-law spent 10 years in Princess House. And that's like a kitchenware type of MLM. And she was like, it's the same kind of thing. Please don't do it. He's like, I'll support you if you want to do it, but I wouldn't. And I did it. But I almost did. We were so desperate to get out of the hole that I almost joined.
And that's what they count on. They count on your desperation and your willingness to want to try anything to help yourself out of the situation you're in.
Yeah. Shout out to the hubby. He's watching. Shout out, baby.
I didn't want to ruin the recording though. And I'm recording.
What is going on?
Oh my
she
God.
can't figure out her computer system for like a second.
You guys can hear me? Oh my God. That, like, of course, the one day, the other day, the internet decided to just, our power shut off the other day. Why today? Okay, we're good. And I'm still recording. We're good. Okay, good.
What?
All right. So
Nothing
income
happened.
cycle bonus, hands down the most lucrative part about the business. Going Emerald is the on switch to that. It's literally you flipping the switch to turn on the most money building, the income building activity of your business. So to me, it's like double down on that. And once I understood that, it was like, cool, Emerald, Diamond, let's help people on our team succeed. And that's where I really understood that this was the best business model in the world, because it wasn't just about signing people up one and done. It was the more that they succeed, the more that all succeed.
It's not about signing people up one and done. It's about signing people up for the rest of your life. That,
Well,
I mean, come on.
And she's refraining, like she's not talking about the compensation structure and the fact that if you were on a weak leg and you're not getting any help from above, you are going to get $14 a check. No matter how hard you work, you're not going to be cycling like she's talking about. So she's leaving out this whole other portion of it that it's like, no, you're not telling them, like, guess what though? Sorry, you're on my weak leg. So you're not going to get anything.
Yeah. Like, and they don't tell you that, like, if you're on their weak leg or their strong leg. Because if you're on the weak leg, then you are effed royally.
Yep. Absolutely.
No matter how hard you try to work. And I know that because I was on the weak leg and I worked hard and it all crumbled. So,
So if you help people achieve their goals, your goals will come true. And you just focus on them and you take the attention off of yourself. Meanwhile, you continue to invite. But when you start helping your emeralds achieve their goal, that clicked for me. So team cycle bonus, customer leads. So I just got a report of,
but you're not doing that to help them. You're doing that because if they rank up, you rank up.
Yeah. Yep.
You're not nice. You're just looking out for yourself.
Yeah. Yep.
Customers that ordered this year. And I was like, I don't even know who some of these people are. And they're customer leads. They're just ordering Shakeology or a program, or when there's a program launch, they order through me and I get commission from that. That's pretty freaking cool. So that happens. And the other thing, and this is a story that I want to share with you.
What?
Okay. Let's talk. Did you guys have, for anyone on here, that if you did get customer leads, did any of them pan out to anything?
No, they always
one
told
of
me they
them.
didn't have anything to do with anything.
Yeah.
I had one. I think I ended up with like 10 or 12 customer leads, and one of them actually ended up continuing to buy Shakeology and joined a group. Didn't join as a coach, but she joined as a customer and I connected with her. Everybody else ignored me.
Yeah, they hated it. They're like, I bought it on the website for a purpose.
Yep.
I didn't want to have to deal
And
with
can we acknowledge now that customer leads are no longer emerald? You have to be a diamond to get the customer leads.
And you have to have an active body subscription. So it is a pay to play model.
Yep.
even more so. Like they ramped it up in the last couple of years. Like they've gotten a lot more strict on the things you absolutely have to do to get these benefits.
Emma was the lead whisperer. I just pissed them all off. So I don't know what you were doing, but I got yelled at by a lot of my leads.
I just got ghosted by him, except for the one.
Wow.
Ghost. Like no responses.
Yeah.
But it's nice now. If, gosh forbid, anybody does want to sign up on BOD, you have the option to not have a coach. Thank goodness for that, at least.
Yeah. I think they had to change that so that when the Open Fit people came over, they were hoping to retain them.
Also, if God forbid, if you do want to sign up for BOD, God forbid, be conscious of the workout programs that you do, because it still shows support to the people that are in toxic diet culture, and we'll just say plain out horrible. So if you go on there, I mean, if you feel like, if you still have BOD and you still, enjoy the workouts, I'd steer clear of Autumn, maybe.
Yeah. And be careful because you may injure yourself.
Yeah.
In summary, don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you. We brought Karina for our subtitles.
Yes.
In summary, don't do it.
Picture handy, but I can share it in the team group after. You know how I said that one of the biggest things that I tried to do was to invite my warm market, but I just feel like I kind of lagged at it. Once I decided to invite my warm market, I invited people like my mom and my grandmother and my brother. My brother helped me hit Success Club 10 the first month I was at Success Club 9, and I needed him to buy psychology, and he did it. And like Andre's parents, Andre's mom, my friends from university, all of those, like I think back, so scary, like so scary because you know them, but a lot of signed up. A lot of them signed up.
No, grandma does not want to do 80-day obsession. Like, sit down. Are you kidding me? Like, come on.
My grandma,
Can you imagine?
my grandma did buy 21 Day Fix.
Oh my God.
My grandma did. Yeah. She
Oh,
would support me.
My grandma told me that she would buy anything that I needed. And I was like, Grandma, that's stupid. Like, you shouldn't have to buy product in order for me to be successful. And so I did try and maintain some ethics. I did.
I never attempted to contact any grandparent. I'm like, that's just wrong.
My grandma, because she wanted to lose a little bit of weight, so, and she didn't do all of the workouts, and she modified. She followed Kath the modifier, but she would just do it, or she'd like turn it on and walk on her treadmill. And but yeah,
Y'all's grandmas are nice, because my grandma would have been like, "¿Qué pinches pendejadas son esas?" Like, what the fuck is that? What kind of bullshit is that? She would have been like, "Get out of my face, girl. If you don't get out of my face with this bullshit."
Save the grandmas. Save the grandmas.
yes.
Even with just a program, Shakeology or a challenge pack. And then there was one name on the list at the bottom of the list that was the scariest. And it was my sister. And everybody that has a big sister knows this pain. My sister is quite a few years older than me. She was in a totally different phase in her life. So she had kids and I didn't. She was already working like a full job. And there's always been like a competitive nature there. And she was also about 35 to 40 pounds above the weight that I knew that she wanted to be at. So me inviting her to a challenge group, I knew was a sore subject already. Like, hey sis, want to get fit? Because you're not, like, that's super awkward. So
It's not just awkward, it's rude.
Oh,
yeah.
it gets so much worse.
I mean, I
It
don't.
gets worse.
Oh
My
yes.
sister and I are not speaking right now, but I would never say anything like that to her. Like,
I don't have a sister. I have a sister-in-law, and she's amazing. I love you. Hey, Mario, what's up, girl? But so my sister-in-law has 2 babies, right? And I have the one baby. And we since she had my nephew, she's been, a little bit more curvy and stuff. And she decided to take it upon herself to switch it up. She wanted to get her health back on track and all that. And I was just like, never once did she say, you know what? You could also maybe possibly go to my gym and hire my trainer, because you could lose a few pounds. And you know why? Because it would have been a problem. And you know why? Because that's fucking rude. That's why. Like, bro, no. Can you not?
Like Emma said, Angie knew her sister was already vulnerable.
Yep.
Because her sister had opened up to her about that at some point in time. I didn't recruit my sister with Beachbody because she was a poor college student. And at the time, I think she was actually couch surfing with friends. She didn't have a place to live. I'm not going to contact her. I work with her now because she can afford to pay me. But she came to me. I never once went to her and said, hey, let me train you.
Yeah.
She came to me. And I was like, are you sure? And she
And
said, yeah.
For us, I started seeing results in my sister-in-law like after a month that she was working out, and that's when I decided to go back to the gym with her support and Erin's support. I just, I've been thriving. So don't ever come up to people and be like, you know what? I'm on this new diet, or like I'm on this new workout program, and I feel like you could use it too. I wish someone would come up to me and say some shit like that. I'd be like,
that's like having somebody buy you fitness equipment or a gym membership without you asking. Like, I have stuff on my list. So like, yes, please buy me this, but I also use it for my business. But that's like somebody buying you a scale. We got a scale.
It's rude. It's rude, like when people offer you gum because your breath stinks and they don't want to tell you, and they're like, here, or deodorant because you stinky. That's rude. It's rude. Don't be mean. Don't be rude. There's no need for that.
Live chat, feel free to take a screenshot of this awesome screen stop I have and share it on socials and promote the other. If you want. Yes. Pause game so strong.
Oh, I still invited her, and I was so scared. And I invited her, and she responded. I did it on foot because I didn't have the balls to call her. And she responded, "Not a good time. ... maybe in the fall." because in August that I invited her. And I remember like knife to the heart. I'm like, I probably made her cry. I probably hurt her feelings.
Rude.
I don't want to do that as like when you're inviting people as a new coach, you don't want, that's the last thing you want to do. And I just want to give you guys a little bit of perspective. So this is what came from that very difficult moment. 3 months later, in about October, November, she called me. I was in my closet. I feel like every good story, I'm always in my closet pacing. I don't know why. And she called me and she was crying and she was at work. And she said, I've been watching you on social media.
How big is your closet?
Your progress.
Miss entitled rich white lady. How big is your closet? Because I can barely pace in one of my bedrooms. So again, privilege, ma'am. Privilege.
Yep.
I can see your food. I can see your workouts. You look happier than ever. You look healthier than ever. I can see that you're sticking with this. I don't care what it is that you're frigging doing. Sign up, take my credit card. And I said, well, I'm doing a program called E25. And she's like, that's what I want to do. And I said, what? But I'm drinking Shakeology. Yeah, I want that too. And I was like, okay. And she said, I don't care what it is. Just sign me up. And I need to change my life. And the transition, I wish I had it in front of me. I'll try and find it while Mandy.
I wish I had the transformation in front of me. She said in the beginning, in the first 2 minutes of this, that she had spent so much time on this call. Where are the visuals? Where are the pictures? Why are we not seeing any visual aids right now?
Oh, you let her talk for a minute or two, and you're gonna lose it.
I have another note.
Ask you a question real quick because Jeanette says she still does 21-day fix and 4 weeks for everybody doesn't follow nutrition. She's like, my coach told me today to modify. But did your coach tell you how to modify? Did they give you options?
Yeah.
Because there's so many different variations of exercises. And even in the modifications in the videos, they aren't really beginner modifications most of the time, especially in 4 weeks for everybody. I've watched all the programs.
And your coach is probably not a certified physical or certified personal trainer and should be very careful in giving that advice.
Yeah.
Going back to what she said, how messed up would it be if she didn't show her own transformation, but then proceeded to show her sisters?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, we can appreciate that. At least she's so, in my opinion, lazy. She didn't have any visual aid so far, so she's at least fair.
Also, though, I feel
she put so much work into this presentation.
I feel so bad because yeah, clearly that was already a sore spot for her sister. Like, why would you? Listen, if she was a good sister, and this is just me, again, I don't have sisters, but I love my sister-in-law. And if we were in this particular situation, my first thought would be like, listen, I understand you're ready to change your life, but how about you just take a couple of days and sit on that idea? Maybe look into it a little bit before you give me your credit card information to sign you up or however that works. And we can sit down and talk about this. Like, we'll have an actual conversation.
Yeah.
With her, I picture just going, give me that shit. Let me sign you up so I can rank up real quick.
Yeah.
If she cared about her sister, she would have taken that time.
Yeah. Yep.
He's talking, but she was such at an unhealthy, scary place. And when she lost the weight, we would go shopping together and would look like my sister. Like, we would walk side by side, and I finally...
So because she was a little heavier, she didn't look like your sister?
Oh, no, wait. Let her talk for like 30 seconds.
Oh my God, I heard it. I'm about to lose my mind. Let me rewind it. Hold on. Here, wait, listen to this.
I'm drinking Shakeology. Yeah, I want that too. And I was like, okay. And she said, I don't care what it is. Just sign me up. And I need to change my life. And the transition, I wish I had it in front of me. I'll try and find it while Mandy's talking. But she was such at an unhealthy, scary place. And when she lost the weight, we would go shopping together and would look like my sister. Like, we would walk side by side. And I finally felt like she looked like my sister. We looked like twins. And she would bring her little kale salad with her to the food court. And like, we would go shopping, and I could tell she was so frigging proud because guys would check her out. She'd be like, oh, they're not looking at you. They're looking at me like that. Do you know how proud I was of her for that? And she told me.
So not only is she promoting toxic diet culture, but your value is based on what men think about you. I'm going to mute myself and I'm going to cool down because fuck this lady.
She finally looked as good as me. I mean,
we finally looked like sisters. Are you freaking kidding me, ma'am?
I told you, you guys were 17 minutes in. She is the worst.
What? And this is so different than her YouTube channel. I mean, the girl that we watched at the beginning, it's the same girl, right? I mean, I took it from her. It feels like so different. It's awful. It's
The
awful.
fat shaming, the weight stigma, oh my gosh, weight loss does not always equal health. Your health is not based on your size. You keep
I feel
She
so bad.
sounds like she
Listen.
was embarrassed that her sister was bigger than she was and that she had to be
Yep.
seen in public with her sister. That's the
Yep.
way it comes across.
Yep. Listen, as someone who grew up in a very toxic diet culture, again, I'm Mexican and I have a huge family. And for me, I have two cousins. I'm sorry if I'm yelling. For me, I have two cousins that are around the same age. One of them is tall, curly hair, beautiful, dark curly hair. The other one is a little bit shorter, but blonde, green eyes, blah, blah, blah. And for someone who heard up listening to, you know, out of the three of y'all, so and so are the prettiest. You, not so much, especially because you keep eating, because you keep having seconds, because no man is gonna want you. This is me as a 6, 7, 8, 9-year-old listening to this shit. So, as someone who grew up listening to that, she can go fuck off and not make her sister feel that way, even as an adult, because the amount of damage and the amount of time it took me to get to where I am now, to be comfortable enough to wear a crop top, to wear shorts, to walk around in my underwear around my husband. The damage that type of shit does to people is not okay. So for us to keep perpetuating that, not only around adults, but children, I can't.
Karina, girl, I love you, but you know that already.
I know. And like, this is the problem. And how many of us, like, I was that same way, oh, you've got such a pretty face, but let's not talk about anything else. And then to see that, and that is how they got all of us. That is how they got us in there. And I know I'm crying too, because same things. And like, we're trying to break this cycle, but it feels like you're fighting just this waterfall of people doing this. And then you see your girls get on social media and it's like, no, please don't, because they're going to get this. And it's awful. It is not okay.
And it's more about
family. Family makes
it's more than about the way you look. It took me years, because, and I pair these two things together because I feel like it has a lot to do with each other. Because of the way I was treated as a child and all that, all the things that were told to me. I was in an abusive relationship for 10 years because I thought that they were right and that nobody was going to want me and treat me right. So don't teach your girls or your boys to base their value on the way they look, because they are so much more than that. So much more than that. And I'm sorry to get emotional, but that shit hit a nerve right there. If someone is embarrassed of you because of the way you look, they shouldn't be in your life. They shouldn't. They're not worth your time.
I'm glad that we're having this conversation because, again, being in the commentary space, we're trying to bring like awareness to all the things that are being perpetuated and all different kinds of multi-level marketing in Beachbody specifically, the health claims, income claims, but also in this situation, the idea that you're only valuable if you look a certain way. And Carl encourages that.
Yeah.
And he does it by platforming coaches who encourage, in our opinion,
Disordered
ED,
eating.
disordered eating. And Karina's story matches a lot of other stories I've heard too. Conversations, and I have similar situations. I remember when I was 10, our relatives came to visit, and I was a kid. I wasn't, I was just a normal kid. And they said, "Oh, you lost some weight. You look good." And, to a kid who played outside all the time, who rode my bike all the time, who was just busy being a kid to never have ever thought about my weight, to then that, thought get planted and you can't unthink it. And, and it's like, it's very difficult, and it's perpetuated. Beachbody does it, magazines, TV, advertisements. So, it's more than just taking out Beachbody metaphorically, but it's about having these conversations, because maybe you've never thought about what the damage that Beachbody can do for your kids, or how it plays into some of these things, these traumas that you've had yourself as a kid. So, I mean, I think it's
Yeah.
I don't know.
And like, I wanted to mention this, Karina, I feel like we probably are married to similar men who, my husband's like, I don't understand. Like, you're beautiful. What is this? And you can't explain the feelings that you have had in your heart and in your soul for 30 years. Like, getting over that. Like, I know you think I'm beautiful, but I don't. Like, I have to work on that for me. And like, it impacts all of your relationships still now, because, like you said, being willing to even walk around your husband in your underwear or whatever, and that is what they prey on. And they're like, oh, and so that's why after leaving Beachbody, I went to prove it. Like, there's always another one there trying to perpetuate it.
Yeah. Well, and it goes back to that societal pressure that is placed, especially on women, for us to be perfect and have these idealistic, perfect bodies. And Beachbody uses that in the name of being a good product of the product. And that, to sell these programs, you need to look like this, which is a smaller, as living in a smaller body than you currently are living in. And that's why I tell people, and that's what I said in my reel today, that when these coaches promise you that these programs and this company is going to be the solution to all the problems you're having, or these things that you're feeling about yourself, it's not, because I've been there. And when I was at my smallest, after doing 21-day fix and getting down to a size 4, I still did not feel any better about myself, even though I was the smallest I had been. And that's because they don't address the true issues, which people need to go to therapy for, not an MLM, and seek advice from a coach who has no business giving you any advice when it comes
No
to
qualifications or anything.
your mental wellness, your nutrition, nothing.
And it's all tied together. And again, shout out to my husband, because he really does have a lot to do with the fact that I'm so confident now, and that I push body positivity on my Instagram so much, and that I'm not afraid to wear a crop top, that I'm not afraid to go out in shorts, that I'm not whatever, walk around him in my underwear or butt naked, whatever, He has a lot to do with that, because he heard me out. He put himself in my shoes. He encourages me. And you know what? I could be wearing socks and a big ass baggy t-shirt, and to him, I'm still the sexiest. And he tells me, baby, why do you look so beautiful today? So I'm very lucky in that way. And again, shout out to my husband. He's the best. He's at work right now, but he's the best.
What's funny is there's some random guy on my reel now who commented with the puke emoji on my reel today. And I said, oh, it's so wonderful that you felt so threatened by my confidence to comment. And he just commented back, #mental gymnastics. Like, bro, would you talk to your wife this way?
Yeah.
Or to your mom, to your sister?
Yep.
Daughter.
Yep.
Would you let a guy talk to your daughter that way? I highly doubt that.
Yep.
And things like this just really do, to close up, things like this really do affect your entire life. Like, I don't think people understand how deep it can go for someone, especially to a young child that heard all that from the jump, like from growing up. It affects you in every way. It makes you feel unseen, unheard, unworthy, and that can lead you to make other decisions that maybe are not the best for you. But if there's one thing that I can recommend, like Amber did, is, and I'm not a professional, but if you need to, please seek out therapy. If you cannot afford therapy, find someone safe that you can talk to without being judged. And I want to let you guys know that even though I have no qualifications, I am an ear and I will listen to you and I will share my story with you if that helps you. My DMs are always open if you need to talk. Why? Because for the longest time I felt alone and like there was no one that could understand what I was going through.
And I am going to throw this out here. In October, the guest speaker for my group is Crystal Dunham. She is a registered dietitian and she focuses on body image and binge eating and emotional eating. Anybody on in the live chat now on here or watching the replay, message me on Instagram if you want to join the call for free. It is on October 9th at 7 p.m. Eastern time.
That's
So
awesome.
message me on Instagram. Let me know you watched this, and I'll make sure you get in on that call because we'll be talking about body image.
Yeah, and Jen on Instagram, it's jenb.coaching. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make sure to link
One
her
N.
Instagram. One N. I will make sure to link her Instagram link below too, so you can just follow her YouTube because we're streaming to her YouTube now too. But follow. You can message her on Instagram. That's where you can get the link. So let's see.
A story that she felt good to be able to play with her kids.
What? Come on.
And that she couldn't keep with them and that she just felt disgusting and she never wanted to touch her husband and all the aspects, all for what? For me to have never invited her because I was scared that I might hurt her feelings, and to look at the trajectory of that and how 3 months later she ended up signing up. Even if it would have been a year later, I've had people that have been a year later, that person's life is forever changed because you had a fingerprint on it. So please explain to me again why you won't invite your one.
This coach is Angie Bellemare or Bellemare.
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 Right.
He was the #1 top pyramid performer in Beachbody. They call it the top coach. She made the most monies in Beachbody last year. Or
I don't think she made the most. No, she didn't make the most money. She recruited the most coaches.
Oh, she recruited the most coaches. Okay, got it. Who made the most money last year?
Don't talk. The ones making the most money are just sitting in their amazing house in Florida, but they are starting to recruit a little bit more.
Oh yeah, we can't wait to see what happens in October. I cannot wait.
She said that whoever she recruits or whoever joins her, their life has forever been changed. Yeah, I agree, but not for the better. Not for the better. I mean, these ladies can attest to that.
Market, because I have story after story after story just like that. I feel like the one about my sister hits home because it's my sister, but even the scariest person, it's not you're offering them a box of lip glosses here. It's to change life forever. It's food and fitness, real sweat. You might have left me a couple voice memos cursing at me while she yelled at her, but other than that, it went really, really well.
What food? You starve the people on these plans. What are you talking about? What
Okay,
food?
so I've been quiet and I'm just going to say this. Number one, it does not change your life for the better. It changes your life for the worse, period. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you are. Like, I grew up, I had issues, like body image issues as well, because I had thick thighs from skating and rollerblading.
Yeah.
And that's just how I've always been. But these people, once you join Beachbody, I'm talking to Beachbody. Once you join Beachbody, your life is screwed forever, especially with your relationship with food and your relationship with exercise. So she needs to shut up when she's trying to tell people that this will change your life forever for the good, because it doesn't at all.
Yep. And again, when you're in these groups and you are fully bought in and you're listening to these top people and they're telling you all this stuff, you believe it. And so again, try to offer a balance, at least another perspective. If you have questions about Beachbody, if you feel like, hey, something's not right, I don't understand. I hope this video, if you know someone like that, I hope that it gets to them. Yeah, sometimes do we go hard for some of these top coaches? We do. I know there's a difference in perspective.
I will always go hard for people like this.
Yeah, it's just I feel like you get to take responsibility for your behavior and what you decide to do in your MLM. And is there room for change and to pivot? Yes, but there's also room for us to say, hey, that's wrong. This is wrong. It's wrong.
I mean, think about it. Now everything that, I mean, if this wasn't wrong, why is it hidden? Why is this a part of a freaking training academy? What is she training you? Training you how to be an asshole? Sorry.
Yeah. No, I mean, and it's totally true. The craziest thing to me, I think, is as we listen to these calls, one, like listening to it now, you're like, holy cow, how does anyone find this motivational? But you guys, we found it motivational at the time. We were so bought in that we were absorbing these, and we were absorbing these calls multiple times a week. We were being told how horrible we were.
Yeah. And that's the thing, right? Like, I think that's where a lot of our anger comes from, right? Because we're angry at ourselves because of the fact of the matter that we fell for it. And then we get even more ticked off because people are trying to tell us that we're crazy, that none of this stuff ever happened. But then we present them with the evidence.
Yep.
And they still can't say anything about it. And they go and leave troll messages everywhere. You know, like, it's stupid and it's ridiculous. And you know what? If you don't think what you're saying is wrong, put it out there for everyone to see. Because this ain't training. What kind of what is this training on?
Well,
and how to be an asshole and how to become emerald within an hour.
And I think it's important. That's why, like, Cheryl would share some of her energized dances or whatever. Like, I found some of the worst possible posts ever today. I shared a couple pictures with these guys. They were like, oh, you didn't do that. I did. We did. And the only way to make up for it in any small way is to now share our stories and let people know that they're not alone and they are not crazy. It isn't you. It isn't you.
Yeah. Quick happy birthday to Celeste. Sorry.
Again, I personally have never been in Beachbody or any MLM for that matter, but I know a lot of people that talk the way she's talking and that target people, especially new moms, because she says she has no children, right? But she's targeting her sister who does have children. And maybe that's the reason why, because I'm sorry, but when you just birthed a tiny human, your main concern is keeping them alive, right? That's your main concern. So the fact that she's using her sister, not only her story, but to target that particular group of people is so disgusting. It's so disgusting. And it's triggering to me because, again, I've never been in an MLM, but I know plenty of many people that feel like her. Like in my mom's side of the family, that snapback culture is strong. And let me tell you what, I still have a snapback. It's been 3 years. But you know what? My body has never felt more powerful than right after I had Leo. Our bodies are amazing regardless of the size. So don't ever let anyone that's trying to make money off of you talk to you this way. Don't let that happen. Just shut that shit down real quick.
Yeah.
All the reasons.
You realize we're not even 20 minutes in yet. 20 minutes in.
Part 2.
Holy cow.
Because we haven't even gotten to the other coach. We haven't even gotten to her part too.
Oh, bless. Oh my goodness.
And the Q&A. Oh, the Q&A.
Woo. Yeah, this may have to be a three-parter.
It's the first step in your business. It's that first little toe into your business. So it's a hashtag duh. Please tell me Mandy's on.
I'm good.
Oh, yay. Okay, couldn't see you. I was like, oh God, she left.
Seriously, every time I hear that story, I'm like, holy goosebumps.
No.
Holy reason, holy passion, holy place that we are supposed to be as coaches. And I adore stories like that just because you guys all have the ability to have those type of antidotes in your own life. And for me personally, like, one of my first coaches was Danae. Danae hated Beachbody. Danae hated Beachbody programs. Danae hated the idea of drink. She hated Shakeology. I don't know how somebody can hate Shakeology, but she did.
Have you drank Shakeology? That's my question. And the only reason I ask is because it's awful.
It just sounded like she said shitology, not Shakeology. I swear to God, she said shitology.
Oh my gosh. Oh
and
my
she's
God.
faking the goosebumps. This is all an act to act like this is so exciting to be here with us so we can share these stories and the bullshit with you.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And so she hated all these things, and she just kept saying, Mandy, you go do your thing, I'll go do my thing, like, you'll figure it out. And so I was literally like heartbroken. You know, you see somebody with so much potential, you see so much energy towards like fitness. She loved fitness, she loved working out, she loved posting her freaking muscle shirt, whatever bullshit, and I loved it. And I was like, oh my goodness, this girl, the one that I like share my life with, cannot even get on board with something that is fueling my soul to its extreme. And this point, I was already a 2-star diamond coach, and Danae was like, I don't know. I don't know if I can, you know. And still, I'm like, what the hell? It's even you guys now see Danae, and she's flourishing in the business. She loves and adores this business. She thinks Angie and Andre are the best humans on the planet. She literally, I was talking to the other day, I said, Danae, what do you want to do? I just want to change other people's. Like, that's what I want to do. I'm so fueled by what we do as coaches. And for to not only have this platform, but this opportunity to just pay it forward is such a beautiful thing. So we have these conversations all the time. And it really came down to me saying, Danae, you're signing up as a coach. I'm going to pay for you. I don't care really what you say, but I'm just going to use your social security number. Like, you have to coach with me.
But she didn't want to do it. She didn't. Why'd you force her?
What? You're not supposed.
Because
Like
if your spouse isn't being supportive, then you have to prove to them why this is legit. So,
wow,
Or do anything but
her spouse into becoming a coach to prove
awful.
Yeah.
it was her seeing me repetitively be a coach over and over again. And that was one of the ways that I like was an Emerald coach for a long time is through Danae. So it was because my first invitation was to best friend. And I said, Cassidy, I'm working out right now. I don't really know how this is going to go. I think this speech, I think, could be really awesome. And I invited her that way. I said, do you want to do it with me? Do you want to work out with me? And she's like, sure, like, let's work out together. And she was like kind of iffy. She never even actually opened programs. She didn't even really drink her Shakeology, but she was my first supporter. And that's kind of what I want to talk.
You have a friend who doesn't open the programs, but can buy them and then can buy the Shakeology, but doesn't drink them. How is that an actual like business model that reflects a true need in the market? And one privileged position to have a friend like that, to be able to just dump money into your downline and not do anything with you. I'm just
Well, and I think for me, because like I think I've talked about this before, I did really well and I hit really high success club numbers. I was living in the Seattle area. The people had money. I didn't. They did. And so I was able to do free groups. I was able to do these things, and they make it seem like that's the normal thing. It's not normal. It's not normal to have people who can just be like, oh yeah, how much is it? 160? Sure. Like, oh, it's crazy to me that's where their mind goes.
yeah. It's like I just don't really understand the concept. Maybe it's just so shocking to see people dump money. Have people just dump money for no. It breaks my brain to think about that. But it's like, what business wants a pretend customer just dumping money, buying product, and then throwing those products out? That's wild.
Like, how legit is your business if people that don't really care about it are just buying it just to shut you up?
Yeah. Yep.
You guys today is to get people on board with you because they're supporting you. You don't have to have the next agent in your team. You don't have to have the next Mandy on your team. You don't have the next you on your team necessarily right out of the gates. Your business is going to build over time, but Emerald is your starting point. And it's your job to create that momentum from the start. So think about that. Think about just who you can invite. Think about who you can pay it forward to. Think about how you want to start your business. So again, like, I got into this business originally quite the contrary of Angie. I was working a corporate job that I hated. I was working 8 hours a week, literally the most soul-sucking POS that I've ever been through in my life. And you guys, literally, there's a tie story, but I won't even get into the tie story. But there's just been so many things of like how much bigger and bolder I wanted to live. And I used to watch Angie. I used to be like, oh, that girl. Like, that girl is doing that thing. She lives in the house. And even after I signed up as coach, and I said, oh, it's just, Angie is magical. Angie can do all these things. Angie is capable, you know? then I found YouTube, where I saw all of her original videos. I saw her original Instagram things. And then I started talking to her and realizing,
where are they? What presentation are we watching? I don't get it. And this is frustrating because they said, stop what you're doing. We don't need to look at anything. You want us to look at you? You just want us to look at you talk? There's no things to read. There's no infographics. There's no Instagram posts. There's nothing. God.
Angie is a real person. Angie had to grow into the
As someone who is always unprepared, this is a different level of unpreparedness. Just saying,
Yes.
like, I'm always unprepared. So if I am judging you a little bit, you messing up, my guy.
Yeah, and again, it's just taking that position where you're just like, oh, we put a lot of work into this, so you better pay attention with your ears and your eyes. What do my eyes need to do? I don't need to look at you to listen to you. I don't get it. And I'm a visual person. It's frustrating that they put so much weight on that and they're not delivering. And we're 21 minutes and 59 seconds into this video.
Is today. And that's where it kind of hit home for me, is that we don't sign up as a go-getter. You know, we don't sign up as like somebody that's just going to thrive in the business. There are those, every once in a while you have a coach and they sign up and they go diamond in a month, and that is absolutely possible and amazing. But we aren't somebody that is just going to flourish. You have to like morph yourself into somebody that you want to be every single day, right? And so that's personal development, that's actively sharing your journey, but that's also falling in love with the ability that you have an opportunity in front of you to grow something of your own into whatever magnitude that is possible. You know, like it really comes down to how hard you want to work. So a couple of things that I would just hit home before I go into the conversation tips is that Emerald for me was the reality of this business being a real business. I saw a paycheck, I saw a rank advancement, and I also saw a promotion, or not a promotion, what is it called? A recognition post.
What's it called? You're supposed to be training us. What are you doing? I know. I literally am the worst. I just don't. It's. Where's your notes? And again, people are giving their good time to listen to you do this, and you're not prepared. Just
also, how does Emerald make it legit when you forcefully signed up your partner?
Yeah.
To get to Emerald,
or you've signed them up without them knowing.
Oh, yep.
Some people have signed them up without them knowing.
That's awful. I feel like that is breaking some kind of like not just Beachbody rule, but I feel like it's breaking like is it fraud? It is fraud? Okay.
But not only that, it's disrespectful. And how is your partner supposed to trust you when you do shit like this behind their back? And I don't know about y'all, but trust and respect is real big in my relationship.
Yeah. It's important.
And so once I saw the recognition post, I'm like, Angie knows who I am. I have an income. And I also have some people underneath me, and there's a foundation there. There are people under there. And that just feeling alone when I went Emerald was enough for me to see that this was real. And before I went Emerald, I was like, I don't really know what the heck I'm doing. I don't really believe in this very much. But it really came down to me either going to be like buying in wholeheartedly or me just not, you know, like it's going to be a decision. It's going to be a choice whether or not I do this, or I'm going to just talk a big game and do it, or like just, I don't know, be meager for lack of a better word. And so I decided to turn on, and that was inviting my mom and inviting my best friend. And then I was a challenger coach for a long time. I would not suggest that because I didn't understand the magnitude of what a team feels like. I also didn't understand what it felt like to be a part of something bigger than yourself, and you become not only the leader to a team, but also a lead to other leaders. And that's the beautiful thing about this business is you're not just creating people underneath you that kind of like do the same thing as you, but you're creating other people that own their own business. Like that's such a wonderful thing. Being able to sit down with people like Angie or like top coaches on the team, and so many coaches that I've talked to on this team, it's so amazing to be able to just talk about life and goals. And so I'm going to get into like how to actually get there. Like,
oh wait, are we going to have a presentation now?
I mean,
did she just say they were business owners?
Yeah, and again, I get like taking out a business license, and you know you're paying taxes, you may be paying an assistant, you may be writing things off. I get that part, but having your business taken away by Beachbody when they cancel your account for not following compliance, I mean that's a whole nother surprise they're not expecting, and they never bring that up. They never bring that up.
So do you want to hear super
go ahead.
On Angie's Instagram, her first post is July 17th, 2017. And it is definitely not any type of a transformation post. So she must have hidden everything else. She must have archived everything else because
Wow.
yeah.
Wayback Machine. We'll do a little check on that later. That's for sure.
I just want to say,
Harper. Sorry, go
as
ahead.
as a former business owner, when you actually own your own business, you profit, even if it's just a little bit at the beginning, but there's always a profit. Why? Because you have a profit and loss statement.
Yep.
Because you keep track of that. And it's something, also, you have a say in the products, which you don't hear. So I feel like we already all know that by now. If you don't, you're not a business owner. If you're in an MLM, you're just a 1099 contracted employee. That's it. And yeah, don't do it. Don't
Well,
join an MLM.
according to Carl, Beachbody coaches are unsophisticated volunteer salespeople.
Yep. Hi,
We
Carl.
can't forget that. I'm never letting that die.
You deserve, Carl.
What the hell do I do to talk to these people? What do I say? How do I get people on board that don't even want to coach? I just need them in my downline. Like, what do I do? So I'm going to share these conversation pieces with you guys, and Angie, we can share it in team coaches. Totes fine. Totes my goats. So there's a couple of ways you can do this, and I'll kind of go into first the support me. And
Wow, watch you present.
She pressed present. She didn't even type this for a 1090 by 1920. God.
Well, at least she has slides and visuals.
At least she has
not
slides.
like the other girl.
Let's give her some kudos. Karina's bringing us back to the nice side of the line.
At least.
Okay, let me just say this to the live chat. If you are doing a presentation on Zoom, it's formatted for landscape, which is 1920 pixels wide by 1080 pixels high. Please, please fill up the screen. That's all I'm going to say.
Talking about also signing up Andre, they are supporters. My mom is a supporter. My best friend is more of like a market, but those are the people that are going to support you.
Scripts for your market?
They're not signing up to actively be a coach. They're not signing up to actually go sell programs, but they're signing up with somebody underneath you so they can support you. So reaching out to those people as supporters is going to change the way they view them signing up for you rather than them signing up for themselves. So reach out to your warm market or your mom, your dad, your boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever you want that is not going to actively work the business, but can be somebody that uses the programs and products and just sees you flourishing in the business. So this is a good way or an example of how you can reach out to people and how they can just be your supporters. So this is what I say. So as you know, I just started this new business fitness venture and I'm so excited about it. There's a team that is more supportive than I could ever imagine. We work together to help inspire us. I would love if you could support my new journey and sign up as a coach.
She didn't even...
The typos are horrible in there.
Yeah. Oh my God.
The grammatical errors are driving me nuts.
She wrote this, didn't spell check, didn't grammar check, exported it, pulled it into a PowerPoint, and we're showing this as a training that you spent time on.
I will take the credit I gave her back. I want it back.
I do presentations and I do in the right format. And there will be some typos in there. And before I even push present, I just say, hey, if you see a typo, it's going to happen. I acknowledge it beforehand. And I'll read through and be like, oh, there's a typo. And I laugh about it, but it's like, oh my gosh.
It for sure happens. And y'all know I have technical difficulties out the wazoo on my channel. I even imported the wrong clip, so I downloaded my video and the one where Karina and I went live and I re-uploaded it. So like I have tons of problems happen. My thought is it's frustrating to say I spent so much time on this and you need to stop everything you're doing to pay attention what I've created for you. And this is what you created for me. No. I'm disappointed. As disappointed as someone can be, that's how much I'm disappointed right now.
Like the spelling errors and the grammar, I'm just finding more and more every time I look at it.
Yeah, Fizzlestick said maybe she created it for Instagram or TikTok. I get that because of the format, but that doesn't excuse the grammatical situation here. The run-on sentences, the way she's reading it differently than what's on the paper. Just punctuation. Yeah, that translates from one platform to the other. This does not.
Canva is so easy to use.
Yes, you can export for different dimensions.
There's so many templates that you can use. It also has a spell check.
Yep.
with me. Don't worry, you don't have to work the business, but it just helps me hit my first milestone. And so I can start to gain momentum. You also get access to the workout shakes by supporting me. Hey, it's Gwen, so what do you say? So simple, so natural, and so just kind of easy going rather than, hey, do you think you can purchase this challenge pack? Because I think I go to this next rank. If you go to somebody and you're
Real
like,
quick,
hey,
shout out to the lady folding laundry that's not giving them her undivided attention.
I'm convicted
Love that
by
energy.
something that I really find really amazing, and I found this new kind of opportunity, and I'm excited to kickstart it. Would you get on with me just to support me?
Yes.
You don't have to do it. You don't work by my side.
Clippy,
you don't
where
have to
are you?
do anything other than just support me. And hey, if you get some shakes and end up working out with me, it's going to be fun. And so that message there gets a lot of the people that you can control their accounts later on. It's just gets you start.
Do you guys hear that?
So
it gives you a lot of people that you can control their accounts later on. She just told you that she's going to stack. Like, are you kidding me right now? Oh, sorry. The stacking thing has got me like so mad because I've had a lot of people that are like, I am so sorry that you had this experience, but it isn't my coach, or this isn't the normal thing.
This is the number one recruiters team. This is the number one recruiters team who's teaching this stuff.
Listen, and I just found a video this morning from one of the top coaches who has a very famous sister. And she also said, when you sign up, your first two coaches need to be your husband and or mom, sister, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, so you can control the accounts.
Wow. So, awful.
And she's all the way up there. Like, this girl's probably in her downline.
So question, because I've never been in Beachbody. Let's say one of those, like this lady, right? She signed up her mom and her dog and whatever. She leaves. What happens to those accounts? They go to?
They go to her upline.
To her upline.
Up.
Yeah.
Into the upline.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Do the legs maintain their shape? But the two
they
just
still be in the same leg, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
This is very similar to scripts that I got when I started.
Interesting.
Well,
and I remember sending it once to a friend, and it was on Facebook, and she replies back. She's like, you didn't write that. That is not your voice. What the fuck are you doing? And after that, I stopped cold messaging.
I don't know who she is, but I love her. All right.
Yeah, she's amazing. Love her too.
So, Karina, asking like if people just roll up. So what happened when I quit was that all of my people rolled up to my coach. Well, my coach chose to publicly shame me on Facebook. And so all of my people lost their minds on Facebook. Plus they had her phone number and her email because she was now their coach. And so she like called me and left me a voicemail and was like, you need to call off your people. Why are you giving them my info? And I was like, Beachbody gave it, not my fault. And you're the one who put that on Facebook. So enjoy.
Handle your own shit.
I would have been like, that's your problem now.
Yep.
So I did.
Sounds like a you problem.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Support me people. That's going to be, again, your mom, dad, boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever. The people that are not going to actively work the business. Mom support me was my mom, my best friend, and then Danae.
Not actively work the business.
Warm market, old market conversation tips. So your warm market's going to be anybody. You guys, people get so confused about who warm market is. Your warm market
Why
is
cold market capitalized and warm market is upper and lowercase? I know. Who cares?
No consistency, but what do you expect? They always talk in circles and contradict themselves. So it tracks.
I was anticipating an incredible presentation because I'm supposed to be looking at the screen and taking my notes right now, and I'm mad about what I have to take notes on.
Well, here's the other thing. She's also a web developer, and so
No.
I had to pour some salt in that wound. You see, sorry.
She is the girl that's what?
Mandy is.
Oh my god! Our web developer would have a fit.
So again, you expect me to be like this? For
Yeah.
that bullshit, nah, I'm good, thanks.
No thanks. Wow.
knows that you are a human being.
I love your dog,
market is
Cheryl.
not me that you know personally that you've had 10 meals with and everyone's just like cold market, but a warm market individual, somebody that knows that you are a human. That could even be somebody that is friends with a friend of
Knows you're a human? I mean, what do y'all think that I am if I'm not?
You're a robot.
Oh, gotcha.
friend that knows your actual person. Those are your warm market people. So you can reach out to
Can we
them.
like
and say,
read
"Hey, girl,
one
oh
of
my
these
God."
scripts really quick? Because I want to
Mhm.
emphasize all the capital words she capitalized.
OMG, blows. Why? Cassidy, dead. You have.
You slay.
Dead.
Slay with 2 eyes.
Did you hear
You slay, girl. You need to join my team. Why
She
are you
she said that your warm market is even a friend of a friend. That is not a warm market. They don't know you. They know your friend. They're not your warm market.
Yeah.
And she just told them that they were.
That's a lie. That's a lie. It's a lie from marketing hell.
So freaking excited about this new journey. I started, you would die with the amount of love and support my team shows us.
See, she should have capitalized the words excited, new journey.
Or how about no capitalizations except for the first letter of each sentence?
Well, I mean, you could do that too. I'm a fan of I'm a fan of emphasizing some stuff sometimes. But I mean, she did all the negative words. OMG, blows, dead.
And the
God.
fact that we're working on eating well and paying it forward blows my mind. Why
Puppy
don't you
break.
do? Like, let's do this together. I don't want to be alone. Let's do this damn thing together. And I love this type of way to reach out to somebody because then you're actively doing something better for not only yourself, but for that person together and collectively. It's not like,
Do you want to join me in creating disordered eating habits and behaviors around exercise and food?
Yeah.
I
Oh,
was about to
do this as a reel. You should take this and then you should do like wipe it out and then do you on screen where you say that and then you go there. I fixed it. You should do.
I was about to say something super duper mean about the whole relationship thing, but instead I think I'm going to ask you guys a question. So, since being in an MLM or a Beachbody in this case, do you guys approach your relationships differently now? Like, is there ever a like a doubt, like, why is this person talking to me kind of situation? Because I feel like that would mess me up.
Yeah. Because we just moved here last summer, so it's been hard to like find new mom friends because you just don't know who is involved in an MLM, and so it's okay. What's the
catch?
The over under on how many of these women that I'm like talking to in like mom groups and stuff that are actually part of an MLM that are going to try to recruit me into their pyramid scheme because it's a lot. So it's like going to like the soccer practices and meeting the soccer parents. It's like, oh gosh, like I just want to make genuine connections with local moms and not have to worry about possibly hearing a pitch from them.
Yeah.
I have problems. Like if you notice, if you ever DM me, I am not a very talkative person in my DMs, and it's because I'm scared that either A, you're going to think that I'm trying to pitch you something, or B, I'm scared that you're eventually going to try to pitch me something.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yep.
So for me, because I do have a business and I do have to talk to people about it. It's been a hard transition to get from going and seeing everybody I talk to as a potential customer. And now it's like people I talk to, I'm like, no, like no, you're not a potential member of my fit club. You're not a potential money dollar sign for me. It's like I've had to shift that perspective because that's what they taught you in Beachbody. Every person you talk to is money.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's just not true because I'm not for everybody and everybody's not for me. If you go read my value statement, if you don't agree with it, it's at the top pinned on my Instagram page. Peace out. Don't work with me. I don't want you here.
When I left Mary Kay and Young Living. I wasn't a big recruiter in Young Living, but I was actively selling and recruiting in Mary Kay, and there was like so much of a weight lifted off my shoulders when I left Mary Kay, because I could like sleep at night and I could not have to worry that I wasn't making the most of every single interaction that I had and all this stuff. And so it wasn't Beachbody, but it's nice not having to feel bad about not looking at people like, oh, they're a potential recruit, they're a potential someone who could buy something from me. So
But it also though gets into your head so much that like when gut protocol came out, I was like, maybe that would work. Like you still have some of these thoughts in your head that you're like, oh, I know it's bad, but I'm still a little bit jealous. And maybe I should do whatever, because you know that like you still have some work to do. And that again is where like the therapy part comes in versus doing another diet. But there is still like it still does impact all of those things.
yeah.
You know, for the longest time, I wouldn't call anything I did a challenge group.
Yeah.
I couldn't do. I still. It's my group. It's not an accountability group. It's somebody like, oh, it's another. It's not an accountability group. Period. Yeah. That's what they do. You don't have to post sweaty selfies every single day to prove that you did your workout. You don't have to post pictures of your meals. You know, there's no it's not an accountability group. It is a community.
Yeah.
For support.
I just wanted to ask, because I think that if I like dove into something like that for like forever, and then you know how they encourage you like, oh, if they're just haters, then just don't talk to them, block them, blah blah blah. And then I cannot imagine like leaving that and not having anyone. And then once you start trying to rebuild relationships or build new relationships, for you to not be iffy about it. So I just wanted to hear your guys' stories, because I mean, I've heard some of your stories before, but I've never like had a conversation with you about it.
Yeah. So Harper said, pointing out and making fun of spelling and grammar errors is a form of ableism. Not everyone has had the same schooling or went to college or had some support with their learning disability. I'm open to having that conversation, Harper. The specific sliver of point of contention I have with this group in Beachbody is controlling a large group of people and their time and telling us they put a lot of effort into it, that they're making money off of their downlines, and then they're also telling their downlines how to live, basically, and then to put out this presentation for them. And again, I could be way off base on this, and I'm open to pivoting in the future. I need time to think about it. Again, I don't want to critique someone who has a learning disability or who where that would impact their spelling or their grammar. I definitely still am strongly saying I am disappointed that the group who is so controlling, the leaders who are so controlling, put out this presentation. And again,
if you're so supported in this community or whatever, how come you didn't have anyone help you out with said presentation? If someone was helping you and supporting you, then they would have caught those errors.
She's also a web developer.
She's a web developer, but this is also, they're saying this is the perfect message to send out to your market. And so doing like a copyright, right? Like they're creating a script.
They want them to copy and paste it is what they're.
Yeah, so they want you to copy and paste it. So that would be something that if you're going to have that, you need to have several people look at it. And so I definitely understand what you're saying as well. And my own messages that I would send out weren't fantastic, and they probably had spelling errors or whatever, but I wouldn't ask anyone to copy them and send them out.
Yeah, and again, I know there's people with all different learning experiences, learning disabilities here. I'm not saying it right, I'm sure. I don't want to, in us critiquing this Beachbody coach, to make you feel not you, Harper, but anyone who does have those, to feel bad about or feel extra sensitive if they do struggle with, flipping flipping letters or flipping numbers or reading comprehension. I have reading comprehension issues.
Yeah.
So
Listen, as someone whose first language was not English, I have been through my fair share of mistakes like this. So I get that, and I would never want anyone to feel less than or like attacked for not being able to make a proper presentation. But again, in this case, supposedly it's a whole team, right?
Yeah.
So she should have had some assistance with the presentation. So I don't want anyone to think that we're making fun of people whose first language is in English or have a learning disability or whatever, because that's not the case. We're just pointing out the fact that if it was such a community, she would have had help with that, even if she did have some sort of disability.
Yeah, and again, I'm willing to. I really do try to consider things. I've learned a lot from the community, being plugged in and learning from people in the Discord and having great conversations. So I'm not saying this is my final positioning on it, but I still want to think about it some more. But I still want to be clear, like, where I'm critiquing her because there's specific things I'm critiquing her because she's a leader and she's controlling a bunch of people. And we were told at the beginning of the call that they spent a lot of time on this presentation, and it's worth not paying attention to your kids or doing don't multitask, fully focus in. And I definitely disappointed with I'm definitely disappointed with this. So yeah. Okay. Let's see.
Hey, will you sign up under me? Or hey, I need you to sign up under me because it gets me something. How about we go into this community, the support group, and this type of opportunity together so we can build ourselves? And that's another just way to kind of approach this. And another one is, hey girl, so I started a new journey where I do workout programs, eat healthy and support along the way. And I was writing down a list of people that I think would do this, and you were the first name that popped in my head. Do you think you would join me on this journey? This is one of the Angie's like original messages I ever saw. And I was like, wait, this is gold. Like, this is actually true. One. And two, like, this is so easy to talk to the people that are, it's almost, I get this like black, like where you're so timid to approach these people, but you really want to work with them and you want to work by your side. So that's another way. And then if you have a program that you just absolutely are loving, say the ABM session or live for whatever, maybe you can even target it that way. Or like the last point, it says Cassidy girl, I just did day 3 of a booty workout and I'm dead. It's the best way possible. You have to try it. Do you want to do it with me? I can get you just kind of package so we can be Bahamas for the summer together. Like, so fun. Talk to these people like your best friends, and you guys can just actively do this thing together. And that's just kind of your remark, right? You guys don't have to go about anybody like this, but these are just kind of
I just want to take a pause real quick and just, I know I don't mean to reiterate things like to death. I love differing opinions, especially here on my channel. We have a lot, and I want the live chat to feel welcome to, like what Harper did, say, hey, here's a perspective you may not have thought about, and this is an experience that I personally have or that I know someone has had. So I want to continue to encourage and cultivate that here because, one, I don't want to create an echo chamber here. I just got out of one. I hated it there. I'm open to different points of view. I'm open to different beliefs. I really love the conversations we've gotten to have. So I just want to say, yes, please continue to do that. Please feel free to continue to share those, especially if you don't fall in line, then you're not welcome here. That's not what we do here. So I don't know. I just wanted to reiterate that and say that. And I hope that if you got this far in the video that you still feel like that you can freely say, hey, what about this? I think differently than you. What do you think? And so I don't know. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
I agree. It helps. Look, it helps me learn, right? Like, it helps me think differently when it comes to things like that. So I always appreciate when somebody is like, hey, how about you think of it this way or look at it this way, right? So yeah. I'm 100% open to, it's ABL, always be learning.
And I already said earlier, when I do these presentations, there are spelling and grammatical errors in mine. Yeah. I know there probably will be. And before I even hit present, I say, look, they're in there. I'll go back and fix them for the recording. But and I point them out when they're there. It's like, that's wrong. It should say this instead.
Yeah.
You know, and I just look, my background, I majored in English and history. So looking at grammar and spelling and punctuation errors drives me up a wall. And I do have a son who has a learning disability. So I get it. I get what you're saying. But from this perspective, this was a professional presentation used in a business setting.
Not only that, they were trying to guilt people to just drop everything they were doing and watch them, like just give them their undivided attention. So again, sorry, Harper, but thank you for bringing this up to our attention. I feel like it's a conversation that needs to be had. And I've said it many times on my channel and also on DC's channel. I'm always willing to have a conversation so long as it's respectfully, and I'm always willing to learn and grow. And I think I can say that for all of us here. So thank you. And yeah, you're right. We should have considered that. Again, in this case, I feel like she should have gotten some help with this presentation, since they said that they all spent so much time on this. But you're right. That's a perspective neither of us thought about. So
examples of how you can talk
Let's
to people.
finish these
Some of your cold
scripts and
market
then you can
opportunities and ways you
cut
can
it for
converse
next
with people
video.
is through people with social media, and it says, "Hey babe, so I watched your journey. I've been watching your journey for a while, and first off, let me just tell you, you slay. I
She's
love
not up on the screen.
Oh man, I hit the button and it's not working. Sorry. I don't know. Okay, there we go. Thank you.
and good energy. I have to ask you your thought about coaching, because there's been about 1,000 people that I've sent this out to.
1,000?
And I've had a lot
1,000?
of great conversations.
Okay.
And a lot
Same,
of that
I
right
guess.
now is in all the later sign-ups. And even if you're sending out 20, 30 of these a day just to get people understanding that you have an opportunity to provide them, you're doing something good for your business. Even if they don't sign up right now, these cold market invites are amazing ways to just cut the guys, you know?
What?
And so the next one is, girl, you need to join my team. Oh my God, you would kill life doing what I do. Please tell me you ever thought about it before. And just, again, so vague, but let's just start a conversation.
So
Let's
vague.
start moving and growing our business. And even, again, if these people don't step today, those are people that you're warming up to your market that might follow you and really just be inspired your journey and all of that. So, I'm still not going to go into the last one because I can't unshare this.
I think this is a good spot to cut it for today. And I'll try to get a different video program so that I can speed it up, but I like not having the address bar at the top, so that y'all can see more of the video. Wow. There's more.
Does anybody else ever feel really drained after these? Like, my brain hurts.
Yeah. And again, I used to go to all these
every
Zoom
time.
calls. Yeah.
Especially when I cry.
Yes.
I'm tired, but I'm fired up and upset as well. Like, it's like the two spectrums, because I'm like, she is number one in the company, like, or she was. She's not anymore. But like, how many people she has impacted. So that like fires me up and makes me mad. And then I'm like, oh, this hurts. I mean, I had to move over to my bed. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I don't, again,
I mean, I was not enough at one point, because sometimes they just like talk in such a monotone tone. Like, it's no wonder that these coaches like don't want to be on camera, because they're probably falling asleep in the background.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to take a drink a pre-workout just so I can do my workout, because my brain hurts right now.
Yeah. It's listening to all of the body shaming and the team shaming, how they're not paying attention the right way, or they're not doing it right, or how someone who is extremely privileged was actually not privileged because she didn't know what an overdraft was when she did have someone to bail her out. And it's just like, does this feel exhausting to anyone else? Because again, it misses all the marks. And again, it's missing all the marks in kind of a dangerous way, because they're impacting such a large team with the ideas that they're continuing to perpetuate. So
yeah,
we're gonna go to part 2.
I already got a workout done, so I'm not gonna go to the gym. Instead,
yes,
we're gonna eat some Chinese food, some takeout.
Ooh,
That's what I'm gonna do to recover from this.
Yes, love that. Love that. Live chat, thank you so much for your incredible support, your insightful comments. Loved the conversations we got to have. Big thank you to Karina for her perspective
Thank you
and
for having
everything
me.
that she brought to the chat. Every single time she's on one of my streams, it's incredible. And
No?
we're gonna
Okay.
we're
You
gonna
don't
have to
to.
do a part 2 because we're only 30 minutes and 22 seconds into this call. Oh my Lanta. So we'll have to schedule it so when Karina can come back on for part 2 as well.
I'm down
This is
whenever.
why I love being live, is because we actually get to have these conversations, right? Like, I think that if I was to ever do a YouTube, like, other than upload my podcast to my YouTube, if I was going to do a YouTube channel, it would be live, because I want to have conversations with people. I don't want to talk to myself, right?
Yeah.
Like, hands down, great job to people that can do it. I also don't want to edit, to be 100% honest.
Same.
Yes. True.
Same.
Same.
Okay, bye. See you later. See
Bye,
you
everyone.
later.
Thank
Bye.
you. We roll the outro.
Bye.
We can get it up. Okay.
Bye, guys.
Bye bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye bye.